let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
So again, because I don't know how to read a calendar, we won't be starting Black History Month videos until next weekend. So for tonight's show, it's a whole bunch of Am I the A-hole, real or not, and just random stories. This is Radical Truth to Power. Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with SBS3. I am your host, Marlon Clyde, along with Anna Hart and Tracy Carson, and apparently somewhat Diaz Robertson, who decided to pull up a chair. So Diaz will be talking, and so for anybody that was hoping to start the show on a Sunday and end on a Sunday, we'll see. So, like I said, we're just going to just weed through a whole bunch of videos, clean it out the old files, because I started off with 150 videos in the files, and I think I'm now down to 90 something. So, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Hello.
So, before
Hello.
we get started, how you doing, Anna? How's everything?
I'm doing pretty good. Today was a full day. It was a support group day. It was, always play with my dog day. And I've just been kind of going since I woke up.
Tracy, how are you?
Y'all know I'm tech right, but it's okay. God still is on the throne. I'm gonna be all right.
Okay.
That's not funny. That's true.
That's not funny.
That's
wasn't what I expected for the reason that I know you're upset, but
let's address the elephant in the room, everybody. My team lost today. They didn't just lose, they got beat handily. They got beat in a way I wasn't even expecting. Hurts my heart, but This team started out 3-4 and won 12 in a row. It was a great season. It didn't end the way I wanted. But guess what? Bang, bang, 49er game. All day, every day. Now. And I might wear my jersey next week. What? So we're not going to the Super Bowl. It don't matter. It don't matter. And apparently this is make fun of Tracy Day because her team lost. But some people's teams didn't even get this far. But hey, whatever.
You tell them, Tracy. Let's get
I
this
have no stake in this whatsoever.
Honestly, I like picking on Tracy.
Yeah, he does.
Because I could not care less about that game. I could not care less about this one that's on now. I don't even care. You're right. My team wasn't even in it, so why do I care who gets beat? It's only for the fact that Tracy liked the 49ers that I actually care. But if nobody liked the 49ers that was on this show, yeah.
See what he does to me? He teases me for no reason.
Oh, I have my reasons. You just don't like them.
Because he likes to.
You mean he is a tool?
Wasn't exactly what I said, but okay.
Let's get this party started. Got their butt whooped. I'm going to start the show off actually with something out of the norm for this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a choosy beggar. On top of what the heck?
Hey, y'all.
He couldn't stay away.
Yeah, you know, I need you guys, man. Y'all help keep the boy with a sound mind sometimes. So, how y'all just doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm doing
wow.
An extra punch of good now. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel great now.
Now I feel better. Thank you.
I tried to check on you, Trace.
Why we gotta do this? My team lost. It hurts. It hurts me right here.
That's why I'm saying I was trying to check on you because you know I don't even like football. But
oh man, you don't like good news, Trace.
But I mean, hey, let's just be real though. You guys, you know, people are gonna be picking at you for the next probably 2-3 days because they know how much you care about your team.
They sure are. My sister already did a check-in on Tracy post.
Has anybody?
But let's just be real though. Let's be real though. The 49ers was playing with like the 8th string quarterback.
Yep, sure were.
So I think they did pretty good, all things considered.
It hurts my whole heart. I wanted to go to the Super. Y'all know if they had won the Super Bowl, I would have acted a straight up fool. Fool.
Well, they weren't gonna go. They weren't gonna go if you had the guy who usually goes to pick up lunch throwing the ball.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We cut him 3 times.
They would have gone to the Super Bowl.
No, I said
they won this game.
Yeah, they would have gone to the Super Bowl if they had won this game. Yes.
And
that's why it hurts. We started the season 3-4, rattled off 12 in a row with a third streak. Y'all don't know how this hurts me. Hurts my whole soul. I got Marlon up here making fun of me. Oh, it's payback. It's payback. Check your emails. Check your emails because I'm coming.
Oh.
Come on, you want to. I already don't give a rat's butt about my team. If they make it, great. If they don't, I'm used to it.
But you know I care.
Probably to the wrong person.
No, I'm a football fan. This hurts.
I don't even have an NFL team, so I don't.
No.
The Falcons?
I want them all to lose.
Oh yeah,
I want everybody to lose.
I know you want everybody.
Everybody lose, which is not possible.
So they choose Alabama.
Who didn't
Alabama can lose too.
They did.
Yeah, that's why they won in the championship game. But Georgia won.
Well, they beat.
They should have lost too.
So I got one.
Everybody should lose.
I got
All
one
of
out
them.
of two. I got one out of two games, and now I'm back to basketball and baseball.
Well, now my whole
So I'll
it's
be doing
shut
a lot
down.
more shows for the season because
Yep,
I don't
I'm gonna have
watch
a
no
whole lot more.
basketball. I don't watch no baseball or
This,
whatever else comes on. So
yeah, I know what I
I
call
watch
this.
baseball. I watch baseball when the company gives us box seats. I'm like,
I,
oh,
I
okay,
did it one
I'll
time.
go.
I got front row tickets to a baseball team, me and Foxy, and it was like I just don't care what's going on this field.
It's fun to watch in person, but it's terrible to watch on TV. I'm like, okay, what are y'all doing?
I don't like it in person.
Like legit, baseball is really too long of a game. But
It's 9 innings. They
what
should be
happens?
about 6 or 7, maybe 5 innings, and then be done
They
with
need to
it.
cut it down for real because there's no reason that it has no end time.
162
And
games. Like, come on,
no, I mean as
y'all.
far as like one game goes as long as the game goes,
Yeah, there's no such
and
thing as
that
overtime.
that's
Don't worry
wild to
about it,
me.
Anna. I'm at that point now too. So I'm gonna get these two to stop so we can go into our first story.
Last thing though, y'all know until September I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of shows because I don't care. This is the only sport I like. This it. This is my it. Football is the only. I mean, I watch the Super Bowl, but after the Super Bowl, I don't got nothing. No sports to watch.
The USFL or whatever that thing is.
Oh, you got to be out of your dang on mind.
Anyway, so I'm gonna do a story that people are not used to on this show, and it is choosing beggars. To make it even
Choosy what?
choosing beggars,
Oh, okay.
and to add a little more to it, it's a choosy homeless person.
Must be grandma coming.
Nope, not this time.
For setup, I parked for work in a giant car park that's shared by a McDonald's and a supermarket. The supermarket also has a sandwich deli that serves fresh, huge, pretty healthy sandwiches and similar products. This was after work, and I was famished, so I decided to be naughty and grab a snack from the McDonald's. As I was doing so, I got stopped by a beggar asking if I could help him out with some food. I'm somewhat jaded with encounters such as this, so I say I can get him a specific thing from McDonald's if he's happy to take that. Not just offering cash, or I'm going to get badgered. The beggar looks nervous, clears his throat, and says he would prefer something different. If possible, sandwiches from the deli are much more filling and healthy than a McDonald's snack. If possible, and only if possible, would I mind getting him a sandwich from the deli instead of a cheeseburger or whatever? Dude looked so ashamed and nervous about asking me to go an extra step on his behalf, but he was right. I tell the dude to not sweat it and wait right there. As I'm making the order at the deli, I tell the worker about the whole thing. She finds it so sweet, she gives me 3 sandwiches for the price of 1 to take out to the guy. The guy tears up when he sees the small feast I brought out for him, and I tell him to thank the deli worker as well, since she contributed too. He mutely offers me one of the sandwiches and we go back and forth for a bit. He's insistent that this is so nice, I need to have one to enjoy myself too. It's only dropped when I point out that the sandwiches were specifically a gift from the deli to him. It would be stealing if I took them. So this guy was literally a choosing beggar. I was going to offer him a cheeseburger or some chicken nuggets. He specifically tried to choose something else. It was also one of the nicest moments in my life. Thank you for reading.
That's a repeat. We've done that one before.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is one of your earlier ones.
Yeah, you did this one.
Alrighty. Well, I don't
we
erase it
all
from my
said-
list anyway.
We said
But it was
this
a
was a
good
yeah,
story.
a real or not. We was like, yeah, this ain't. Well, I said it was not real.
Oh, that was.
I
one of
think
my
it's real.
favorites. I think it was real.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm like,
There are some people out there who just look. I'm there. You know, there are some people who just flat out down on their luck, and then you know there's some people who just flat
Yeah.
out you're an a-hole, that you're at where you're at. But the people who are really down on their luck, you could tell because they want help, but they don't want to ask for help.
First of all, poverty is not a moral reflection. Not that you're saying that it is, brother, but I'm
No.
saying that a lot of times that is the spirit in which people process their interactions with the homeless or what have you. because they say, okay, well, you don't look homeless enough. That's one of the first ones.
Oh God.
Mm.
Or
I'm with you.
Here you go.
if they gonna give you something, they're like, I'm not gonna give you money because you're just gonna go get drugs or alcohol. How about I get you, this or that, which is probably kind
Yeah.
of like where this dude was starting out from, but he's just a good dude, so he still wanted to help, right? Because you think about it, it
Mm.
takes him more time to go through the path that he took than it would to have just, I'm gonna get you something from McDonald's,
There's some.
right? So but
Yep.
still, unfortunately, and this is our capitalist system and our hardened hearts that we have here, we really do look at the what is it, the morality of work, I think
Yep.
is the right term of it.
Right.
So like
Right.
if you're poor, that's because you're not blessed, and you need to work harder so you
Harder.
too can
Yeah.
be
Yep. So
blessed.
you.
And I'm like, that's not at all what Jesus said.
This is literally what we
you
was
know,
talking about yesterday with the whole, well, if you don't like your job, then just go leave. Okay. During the pandemic, when people decided to stay home, get unemployment plus $300, and what's the first thing out of these people's mouth?
Nobody want to
Nobody
work.
wants to work. Nobody like look, I'm sorry. So nobody wants to put up with your crap. Nobody
For
wants to work
real.
in the
well,
top
yeah.
environment. They're not there anymore. You said if you don't like it to leave.
They
They
left.
left.
The reality is, people don't really want to look at what the exchange rate is for their comfort. You know what I'm saying? So they'll say to you, "Well, you should have paid more attention in school, and you should have
Mm.
went to college, or you should have went to trade." All right, well, look, that's what you'd say to someone who still has those options sitting in front of them, right?
Mm.
Hey, I need you to focus in school. Hey, what does it take to get you to college, right? That's a in the moment, like a forward looking approach. When you saying that to somebody as a punishment or as a judgment, that's backwards looking. You're not doing that to help anybody. You're doing that to help yourself. It makes you feel better to say that you didn't do the
Superior.
right thing so you can have what I have, right? And then turn around and be mad that name your restaurant went up by $2 on your favorite meal, and the staffing is thin, so you have to wait 10 minutes when you used to wait 4, and it's just the whole thing. People don't really want to look at the exchange rate, man, and it's so frustrating.
And they teach their kids young to be just as prejudiced. I mean, I don't know if you heard the story of a friend of mine when we were young. She recoiled at a homeless person physically.
Well, I
I
don't know.
don't
I
get
don't,
it.
I don't know how much of it is like they're taught prejudice per se. Like I
Hmm?
think it's almost natural to withdraw from something that is not normal to you. You're either gonna withdraw or you're gonna
You
lean
don't
in. It's like there's a
understand.
two ways you're gonna react to it, right? Like not the same story at all, but like one of the common stories that a lot of black people at least can share is like little white babies, um like toddler age or a little bit older than toddlers, when they want to
Okay.
touch your skin, or they want to touch your hair or touch your face, because that's not normal to them. Like they don't, if they
Mm.
haven't been socialized with multiple types of people, they're
Mm-hmm.
looking at you through the eyes of innocence, and they're like, this is different.
You're
Does
different.
it feel different? Right?
Mhm.
But then you have grown folks still doing the same dumb
Yeah, I was gonna say
stuff.
it's adults be
I was
doing
Right.
that
Trying
so
same dumb
I
thing.
was
I'm like,
literally about to go. I'm gonna let you
no,
finish. I was
can
gonna
I
let you
touch your
finish,
hair?
but
Is
I was
there?
gonna go there because I don't see so many of those
I
cornrows.
mean, we all have that
That
experience with
dreadlock.
with the
Yeah.
grown people, but I used the child first
Mm.
because the child isn't coming with animosity, right?
Right.
So, but it's still annoying. It's triggering to someone like me, because I remember when someone little baby was trying to do that with my daughter, and I'm looking at my wife like, look, either you intervene or I do, because this is not gonna go well in just a second. But that's kind of me touching bases on what you were saying with your friend. If it's something that they like, that's a baby who's leaning in. right? But then someone else may be like, well, I've been told that they're dirty, or they don't carry themselves like me, or and they pull back, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but if it's their first kind of reaction to it, like you did, you kind of help coach them through. But if that doesn't stick, you're only getting one coach session,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all you gonna get.
Because even I was thinking of that,
After,
and I was like, we have to look at it as if maybe she's never seen it before. And I appreciate you sitting her down and explaining it. Look,
She was
that's
a kid.
foul. Don't do that. That's wrong and everything. Now the second time she comes and she at the okay, look, hey, that's you because you should know now. So
but at the
Mhm.
same time, I don't expect everybody to just run up and hug a hobo. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Right.
not what I'm getting at.
It wasn't what I was
you
getting
know
at either.
it's yeah, yeah. It's just I can get the recoil, right? Like if you've never been around something or experienced something, and so all you have is the social programming that we all get, data dumped as we kind of grow up, you're
Mhm.
gonna have certain reactions. And if you don't want to be around, homeless people, then don't be around homeless people. If you don't want to be around gay people, don't be around gay people. You don't want to be around black people, don't be around black people. I don't care. Pick your social group and govern your life accordingly. It's when you try to act negatively towards those groups that you don't feel comfortable around is when you start to have a problem with me. Like, I don't care if you want to be racist in your house, be racist in your house. Well, if you come out here in the street and you trying to enforce that through how you hire people, how you manage people, how you treat the lady who's making your sandwich, how you treat the guy who's changing your oil, now we got problems.
you affected other people. You can do whatever you want to do in life as long as you don't affect other people. As soon as you do, there's your consequences. And we done heard that so many times. Well, my First Amendment, my First Amendment. No, I don't know where the First Amendment said you had the right to say whatever you want to and nobody says nothing back. I don't know what part of the amendment that you're reading, but that's not in there. I don't know where the First Amendment says you can say whatever you want to and there's no consequences.
Right.
It's not in there.
But it's on the back.
It's in that fine print.
Fine print. Okay.
Was that
And
before or after they sold their slaves? I always get confused.
That's
probably
what I'm
both.
saying. That was in the back. That's in the back, written in some invisible ink. We call those
Ah.
social contracts that say that
Ah.
if I say something, then there's a certain level of consequence that might come to me. But if you say something, you might just be told not to say that again. So
Yeah. And unfortunately, I ain't got time to read all that. Next video. Um, so here we go.
Really honest with my friend before her wedding? My best friend for the last 10 years is getting married in a few weeks. This past weekend was her bachelorette party. She got quite wasted, but I don't drink a lot, so I played it safer and stayed pretty coherent. At one point, she was in the bathroom throwing up and crying and looking through pictures of her ex on Instagram. All the other girls were comforting her and talking about what a jerk he is, etc. The next maybe hour turned into fixation on her ex, how they should have been the ones married, etc. Her ex recently had a baby with his new wife, so I understand it may have opened old wounds, but they split up 5 years ago. I'm also one of the few people who actually know why they split up, and all I can say is it was definitely her fault. After the hour, I tried to get us all out of the bathroom and continue the night. The next morning, things seemed fine, but then my friend was going through her phone and saw she had called her ex 10 plus times. She freaked out, but the calls were all so short, we assumed he didn't pick up. I told her she needed to delete his number from her phone and move on, because it wasn't fair to the guy she's marrying if she continues to be hung up on her ex. Everyone got really upset with me for being insensitive, and I was made to feel like it was my fault for letting her call him. Eventually, my friend asked me to go home early. I learned from one of the other bridesmaids that they spent the rest of the morning bashing me in addition to the ex. I was told part of a bachelorette party is getting closure with old relationships, and my judgmental attitude ruined it for the bride-to-be. I talked to my sister about it, and she said while my friend was being ridiculous, that it's my job to put aside my feelings for the bride as maid of honor. We are all in our 30s though, and this seems very odd to me. Am I the jerk?
That'd be the last hangout session. Until,
What
of
is
course,
wrong?
last hangout session until you got to console her with the divorce. At that point, then, you might have to show back up.
Uh-huh.
These are the most confusing BS things that people do. It's like
Why
I
did
did,
you get married
I
if you were
changed my
so hung
stance.
up on someone else?
I changed my stance, and it sounds like I'm being so righteous when I say I'm not going to deal with people or argue with people or blah 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 and all this other stuff. And it's true, I'm not. I'm just not going to deal with you. I'm just going to pick on you because I'm a funny person. I'm going to do it. But the other reason is because I'm getting too old to try to use brain cells on stuff of the most illogical things that come out of people's mouth. And this is one of them. You're making up stuff as you go along to make yourself look like the victim, and I'm tired. I don't care. Okay, you don't want to talk to me no more. That's fine. Great. Yes. Okay. Have a good one then, because at the very least, I know when I get a lot older, I'll have some kind of sense in my head compared to, I wonder if I'm the a-hole. Just tired of it. But
Wait,
I,
are you mad at the lady telling the story or the
Or the
bride? I'm
bride.
I'm
confused.
kind of just saying to the OP of this story of, look, if you got to write a letter trying to figure out are you the a-hole because somebody says you the a-hole, and even their excuse for them saying that you the a-hole doesn't even make sense, stop it. You the a-hole for wasting your time with this nonsense. Just don't deal with it. Move on. It's
Wait a minute. Is this
But
story
that's
finished?
contrary to everything.
Is this story finished, Marlon? Because this is teetering on wait, it gets worse moment, and I'm just telling. I knew it. I knew
Anna
it.
didn't get it.
I picked it because the look on your face. I said this is gonna be a it gets worse moment. Watch.
Yep, it gets worse.
UK. And the title of the post.
Nope, sorry. Wrong way.
Wow, so many comments. Thank you for all of your judgments. I just want to put this here, as a lot of people keep saying I should tell her fiance. In any normal situation, I would agree. But in this case, she's been asked in the past to choose between him and her ex. She chose her ex. She made it clear to her now fiance she would rather be with her ex. But her ex said he didn't want her and left, so she stayed with her now fiance. He knows on some level. Telling him wouldn't be a big revelation and likely wouldn't make him end the wedding. It would just make him sad and rub his nose in something that he is aware of. Not the jerk.
But wait, there's more.
No, that's it. That is it.
So now her story just gets stupid. Because I was with her, and I actually know of someone who did something along these lines that got married to a dude knowing she wanted to be with another dude. Um, but the dude who was willing to marry her was there, right? I have
Right.
no compassion for such people. You playing with people's lives, and
Mm.
whatever happens to you, bravo, and sucks to be you. Whether that's horrible or not so horrible, I just don't care because I don't like people who play with people's emotions. It really hits me a certain kind of way. And I know you guys are all, don't wish ill on nobody. I'm not wishing ill. I'm just saying when ill comes, I don't, I'm not going to feel for you.
I
We're
get it.
Whatever
not
ill.
wishing ill. We know ill is coming.
You reap
And
what you
know and
sow.
know it.
We don't really, because
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
people don't always get punished, dog.
This
They
this
do. You just
this
don't
bride
see
is
it.
gonna cheat on
No,
this dude
no,
on the
no.
same night.
No,
Not
I would
always.
disagree. You reap what you
We want
sow.
to believe. We want to believe that there is a cosmic order,
I can't
and
I can't wait for this
evidence does
story.
not support the argument.
You may
So
not
it's
see
like,
the punishment, but it's coming. Period.
That's what I'm saying.
and you
You may
take it
not
on
see
what
it.
authority? On what authority? Because by that logic, if you've done
Because whatever you
basically,
I had a story of people who they're in a relationship for a long standing period of time. Married, dating, whatever, engaged, whatever the case may be, who all of a sudden come from out of the blue and go, you know what, I want an open relationship.
No,
And
you can.
9 out of 10 times is because that person already cheated or wants to cheat, but they want to feel good about it. I did say 9 out of 10 because there may be that one time they looked at their friend and went, that looks interesting. But 9 out of 10, they've cheated or they want to cheat and they just want to make it feel good about or make them feel less bad about what they did. And this, to answer your question, Thea, is why I feel the way it is because what you go into, your base has to be that. So, in other words, when I say open marriage, I'm not even talking about open marriage because if the base of the relationship at the very beginning was, okay, let's try open marriage, and it doesn't work out, then I can't blame the open marriage on the breakup because the base of the marriage was this is what we going through, this is how we want it to be, blah blah blah.
I feel you
So
there.
let's go back to
That's not
I'm
what I was
talking
saying.
to you, Anna. So let's go back to this relationship that we just listened to. You're
Mhm.
gonna marry a woman who flat out said, given the choice, she would rather still marry the ex over you. And
You're a
you're
dummy.
fine with it.
Yeah.
And you're fine
He's
with
not
it.
fine with it. He's not
Why he
fine with it.
marrying her then? He should have been like,
Why
girl,
did you
bye.
marry her?
So first of all, I'm not saying that this is right. It's not. I'm
Right.
saying that you can't always use, and I'm super logical person, but you cannot always use logic to explain emotional situations. People have an entire chemistry set of how they get to being in jacked up situations. Like he loves her that much.
That
Like
he's a fool.
usually you hear the opposite side. Usually you hear the other side where it's
Love
like,
will
I
make
love him so
fools
much,
of
I
us
can
all.
change him. But it's the
Dumb.
same dynamic, just flip it on its head. This man might have loved this girl since they were kids. And
Right.
so he's in love with the idea of her that he has fashioned. And he believes because I love her so much, we can work through this. We've been through other things before, and that
Mhm.
this too will pass once she sees me as her husband and she
Mhm.
is my wife, and we have vows, and vows supersede everything. And but and
Man.
hope will play you false. If there's one thing I say to most people, hope will play you. Don't ever, ever, ever mistake hope as a plan.
Mm.
But emotionally, it gets cloudy, man. And people will end up in a situation where they are rationalizing their decision instead of making a decision that they later rationalize. So that's why I'm saying like he's not coming out too smart here, but we really don't know
He knows what he's getting
what he's
into.
been
Right.
through or what he does or doesn't really know. Because how many times are we running into people who should know better, but they
And don't.
intentionally drown out the stuff that don't fit?
Mm.
The only the villain here is her, right? He can be
The
considered foolish
bride or the
for
one telling the
proposing,
story?
not the bride.
Oh,
He can be considered foolish for like cognitive dissonance, right? So he's like
Right.
walking into a mess that he should know better. But the villain here is her because no matter what she's told him, I don't care if you told him that you'd rather be with Billy. The fact is, you just said yes to this man. You should not have said yes because you knew you weren't all in.
nah, I'm gonna disagree with you. Billy is the idiot. She told him. She told him that she'd rather be with the ex,
Well,
and this dummy still saying, "Will you marry?" You stupid. You gonna get what you gonna
You know
get,
what?
and don't you be crying when she leave you behind when the ex's marriage don't work. Don't you
Well,
cry?
Tracy, here's the
Don't you
deal.
know?
There's a deal.
how am I the most
Don't,
sensitive person here?
here's the deal, Tracy. Tracy, don't change. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm talking to the audience. Don't change what Thea says because that's not an either or. Both of these could be the exact same thing. She could be a terrible person
Yeah,
because of
they're both
exactly what
terrible
Thea
people.
said. What you said about the groom
He's just
could be the
blinded.
exact same
He
thing.
has low self esteem,
Neither one of the
but
yes, but that doesn't make
That's
him a
what I'm
bad
saying.
person, Tracy.
Both of
he's
them could be true.
but
He's a terrible
he's
person
the
and he's an
dummy.
idiot.
She's the idiot, and the bridesmaid. She should have been like, "Boy, don't you
Yeah, I
marry
don't
her?
know.
Don't you
I don't
marry
know,
her?
but
Don't you marry her?"
Well, now the bridesmaid is in a situation where she can go either way. She can either say something or not say
She
something, and
don't
she's
have to tell what
100%
happened.
right in
She
either
just be
way.
like, "Look, I'm just warning you. She ain't right."
No, I'm saying she could go
the
either way and be
bridesmaid is the
100% clear.
one. The bridesmaid is the one. Everybody, well, not everybody, because for obvious the reason I'm finna say, the bridesmaid is who the bride should have listened to during this, because as she said in the story, I know why her and the ex broke up,
And it
and
was
it
definitely
was
the bride's
her
Her
fault,
fault.
fault.
And it was her fault. But
which means
But
no,
my
she
the
thing
cheated.
other
is,
the other bridesmaids did not. I'm saying something wrong. Maid of honor. The maid of honor was the one who knew the reason why her and the ex
Mhm.
broke up. The bridesmaids did not know. So no telling what the story the bride told them that they're still saying, well, he's a butthole, he blah 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 and everything else.
I'm just saying that none of those people, none of the bridesmaids, maids of honor, none of them have any responsibility in this story whatsoever. Could they be better friends? Yeah, they could have been better
Mhm.
friends, but they don't have any responsibility in this story. The dude who proposed, knowing that this was not the opportune situation to propose, he owns that part.
He the
The
idiot.
fact that she see, I don't understand
He
why
the
you are so
idiot. She the
mean.
idiot. They both idiots. He proposed to a woman he knew didn't want him. Boy, it's other
She's not an
women.
idiot. She's not an
The
idiot.
not
She's
the bride,
malicious.
not the
I
maid of
know.
honor
The
is an
bride.
idiot.
The
She
bride.
didn't even care. She was like, "Oh well, I want the ex." Girl, if you had feelings for him, you should have never said yes. Yes shouldn't have never
I
came out of
agree.
your mouth. She should have processed them feelings because they gonna pass. Trust me, they gonna pass. And not even he shouldn't have
I'm
proposed.
sorry,
She
sis.
shouldn't have
I agree.
accepted.
This feeling is
Nah, both of
this
them.
bride's feeling is gonna pass.
Yeah, they gonna
Say again
pass.
now.
She
The
gonna
bride
find some other man.
the bride's feelings, the bride's feeling for this groom is gonna pass.
It
And
may
the
not.
ex.
You
Possible,
know,
but
here's
it's
why I say it may
possible.
not pass, Marlon. The reason why I say it may not pass for the bride or her ex, okay? Because she's living off of a fantasy. Like she's the reason the relationship failed. So the fact that she's still in love with the dude is a buyer's remorse situation where she's looking back at it and she's painting it with rose-colored glasses for all the things that, oh, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. Look at where they live and they have a beautiful family and they got two kids. We could have had two kids. Like all of that stuff is fantasy in her head. So
Yeah.
those feelings may never go away because she will always have the ability to go to that fantasy world. The one whose feelings would definitely go away is the knucklehead that she's marrying. So that's why I'm saying she's the villain here because she knows going in that she's not all in.
But he knew
She
going
has
in
the
that
But
she wasn't in
he
already.
knows
I
too.
He knew
agree.
from Jump Street. But he
I
goes, "Will
agree. I
you
don't
marry
understand. I
me?"
really don't understand. I don't understand why you kind of mean about it, but I get it, right? He should
My
not have
team
proposed because he
lost.
knew this
That's what
wasn't
I mean.
okay, that makes sense then.
Oh, brother. We're gonna move on because you're gonna be mean on every
I'm with
story.
you now.
She's
Because
gonna
that
be
was
mean
rough.
on every story now. So
I'm
let's
gonna
go
be
ahead.
salty all week.
I'm on your team, Trace.
Good morning, Tracy. Everybody, ain't no good morning.
No, I'm
So,
always be thankful to wake up. Now, wait a minute, I ain't no dummy.
all right.
That's when y'all
So,
supposed to say, "No, you sure not a dummy." Why ain't y'all
But
saying
you know
nothing?
that you're not. Because you know that you're not.
I'm moving on to the next
See how
story.
I support you, Tracy?
Anna didn't say nothing. Marlon didn't got smart. That's okay. I'm gonna be okay.
Nah, I'm good
My support apparently didn't mean nothing.
at
Thank
all.
you, sis.
Not a
Nah,
man. Keep that old sorry. Thank you,
you know
Theo.
what I'm saying? It's way too late.
I said thank you.
It's way too late. She, she, the one person that wait a minute, the one person that supported you jumped to the two that did first before you went to the one that
And,
did.
and then it was a backhanded thank you, Theo. Ooh,
It's
thank you,
not
Theo.
It's like one of those things where
okay.
what did we have a story about this or Thea's you brought it up? I have no idea because that's backwards.
No, because I'm pushing it up so y'all don't see what I just said.
Oh Lord, never mind. Next story.
Yeah.
They loathe. I'm a 38-year-old woman, and I've recently gotten a not great medical diagnosis and prognosis. I'm at peace with it. So I sat down with my husband and I figured out my will. Obviously, he'll be receiving most of the estate. He has to take care of himself and our kids. He and I both have decent, if not spectacular careers, and he likes his work. My oldest brother is a gigantic douchebag. He's an addict, and my parents have wasted their lives trying to help him. They spent so much of their time and money on him, and they had very little for my sister or myself. I don't hold this against them. I love my kids, and I can understand the urge to help them with their problems. The real issue is that my brother has abandoned my nieces with my parents. I tried to get custody of them, but I'm not a member of their church, and my parents cut me off when I left home to get a college education instead of staying home and helping them like a good daughter should. Their congregation helped them hire a lawyer to keep the girls away from me. But strangely enough, after the girls were out of my reach, they stopped getting any financial support. So in my will, I'm leaving my nieces money. Not for them to spend however they want, it's only going to pay for their post-secondary education. If the money isn't used for that by the time they're 25, it'll be donated to a charity that my parents hate. It advocates for women and reproductive rights. I sent my parents a copy of my will so they knew what was coming. They're the kind of people who would take out a loan counting on money from my death to bail them out. They're calling me a butthole for not giving them the money to take care of my nieces. They're complaining because they're going into debt taking care of the girls. I, again, offered to take custody with my husband. If I can have them for 2 years, I know that I can get them on a path away from that church. My parents won't relent, and they're saying they'll challenge my will if I leave it like this. Good luck. My lawyer is confident that I've protected the money. I just heard from my brother. He's calling me a butthole for depriving his kids of help and forcing my parents into an awful situation. I asked him when was the last time that he sent money to help out his kids. He yelled obscenities and hung up. My husband supports my decision, but a lot of my family is calling me and asking me to help my parents with no strings attached. Am I the butthole?
Nope.
Man, I got so confused listening to that story. I
Me
don't know. I
too.
don't know what. Yeah, my
What?
Okay,
cousin,
so
nieces,
basically here's
nephews, daughters.
here's the story in a nutshell. The mafia version of the story. The lady is dying and she's making out her will. So that's one part. Now, the second part is her brother, who's an addict, left his two children with their parents.
Right.
The parents is in a church, aka close to
Cool.
a cult,
Oh.
and they had messing up the kids. The sister at one point said, "Hey, I will take my niece and nephew." Or was it two nieces?
Two nieces.
Two
Two
nieces.
nieces.
I'll take my two nieces. Not only did they say, no, you're not going to take the two nieces, they got the church/cult to hire a lawyer to make sure she never gets the two nieces.
Sound like
So,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
yeah, so far so good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in the will, she's left, of course, the majority of the stuff is going to the husband, but she left money for the two nieces to use for school and school only. However, they have until the age of 25 to use the money. If they don't use the money, it goes to charity. and it goes to a charity for, of all things, reproduction rights for women. To
Okay.
make sure that her idiotic parents don't go and take out loans and everything, assuming that she's gonna leave their money, she said they copied to the will to the parents. The parents are pissed off because they need the money now. The parents, need the money now to take care of the nieces. The nieces that she once again said, hey, you're having a bad time with her. I will take them off your hands. Nope, you're not getting them. Nope, not checks. Nope, they. Now, the only really bigger a-hole in the whole group, not discounting the parents themselves, is the brother who's calling out of the blue going, how dare you do this to the parents and everything else, in which OP said a very good,
Yeah, good
perfect
question.
quote. When the last time you said money, dude?
Anything.
Only thing you came out of your mouth was cussing and hang up the phone. So, yeah, that's still the
Yeah,
asshole
bye. See
because
you.
you did it.
Jungle.
So now, once again, because I got a whole bunch of stories. I even talked to Foxy about this. It was so funny that we have stories like this. Once again, I got family members, which, by the way, it kind of irks me because I think some of these stories be fake because it always end with family members who ain't said jack squat during all this heinous, toxic crap is all of a sudden calling me, in which I go, I don't give a damn about your opinion. I haven't heard from you until this situation. Who
That is
cares?
so real. That is so real.
I just get to the point where, look,
Like the
you
last
know
time
this
you
situation that's going on, and you haven't said nothing until, oops, now there's money involved that's going to people that you like. So now we need to hold a discussion, and I'm an a-hole. Which, by
Weddings
the
and
way, which is
funerals,
also
dog.
really funny to me that you think is so to me is all of a sudden they're going to go, oh, you know what? Now that I see your point that you don't call me an a-hole, a slut,
yeah, I'm
and
gonna get all
everything
the
else
money.
under the sun, maybe I should go ahead and give the money. But whatever, that's their
Weddings
That,
and funerals. Weddings and funerals.
funerals and
so,
graduations.
Nah,
so
weddings and funerals.
that's the
Every
story.
time. That's when the families always act a fool. Because that's when money moves.
Hey Parker,
Hey, Parker,
Cincinnati is Todd.
Hey, Parker.
this is back. For this is back. Just like I told him before, don't get comfortable.
Today.
Thank
Today.
you, Parker, for your words of comfort.
I'm nervous when we were there close to it. Sorry, Trace, about the $40 early. Man, get off my screen. Hey, all right. So what you say, Theus?
About the story, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like this, man. She's dealing with her situation and she's trying to put some things in place for her husband. Apparently, she doesn't have any children of her own, so she looks at her nieces like an extension for her.
No, she
So
did
she's
have
trying to be.
children. She had children.
Oh,
She
she
don't have.
did.
Yeah, she said she got to
Oh,
take
that's
care.
right.
He's
Cause
got to take care of the
she said
kids.
he
He
got to
got.
take care of the
Oh, okay.
kids. All
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
That's
either
right.
way, she looks at her nieces as an extension, right?
Right.
So she put a little something aside for them. Something that she did not have to do, and that's one of those things, man. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to deal with people. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a little cynical on people lately. Um,
Oh, lately.
People have this
I
entitlement
know.
about
Like it
them,
came out.
no
Like
matter
it
what
came
it
out the
is,
blue
you know.
somewhere.
Yeah, like for example, peek behind the curtain, right? So with part of my overarching business structure, I want to make sure that like when I'm hiring or employing young people, that let's say I pay them $12 an hour. Let's just pick a number. Say I'm paying them $12 an hour. For every hour that they work, there'll be $2 an hour that I'm putting aside for them when they graduate high school, right? And they can use that for whatever. When they graduate high school, this money comes to you. Period. I don't care what you do with it. That's your business. Guarantee you, if I go through with that plan, somebody gonna sue me because they're gonna say that that's their money, and I'm saying not your money. It's my money that I'm setting aside for you, but you don't own it. I own it. You own what I paid you. See what I'm saying? And this is a similar situation for her. This is money I set aside for your benefit. This is not money that I set aside to give to you like I owe it to you. I don't owe you any of this. So
Mm-hmm.
people look at the charity or kindness of others and take ownership of it as though they had anything to do with the creation thereof. So this lady has set something aside, and because they now know it exists, they have now laid claim to it.
Now it's
And they're
old.
starting to figure out how to spend it. And
Yeah.
they don't care about the conditions under which she put it out there. She is very clear about the conditions: education, go to school. If you don't go to school, that's okay. Then it's going to go to, basically in the
Sure.
in insurance lingo, it's going to go to the contingent beneficiary. It's going to go over here, and it's going to go to
Mm-hmm.
this other thing I would have gave it to if you didn't exist. And that's the end of the story. But they take ownership of it, and they're like, okay, so that's like $30,000. So man, that would eliminate all of our problems right now if we just had $30,000. So just give it to us so we can help take care of the kids now. No, if I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
help you take care of the kids now, you would give me the kids. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to do that, so I am looking for when they're grown, when they're no longer subject to you, and that's when I help them.
These parents
That's how
are
I view it.
these parents are douche
Yeah.
bags. First of all, sir, ma'am, or ma'am,
Yeah.
whichever,
Really cold.
your child is dying. Hello. Get that
They're in
in
the
your head
cold.
first.
Well, they might think she deserves it, Tracy. Remember, she
No.
left the faith.
First of all,
Remember
Mm-hmm.
when she left
Exactly.
and went to school,
That's
she left the faith. That's
Yeah.
some stuff I've watched on documentaries with the Jehovah's Witnesses, where they excommunicate you because you
Yeah.
left the faith. So that she's already considered, whatever that term is, like it's a equivalent to a heathen. But that's them. So
but
they
your
they
daughter is
It's like
dying.
oh no.
The
Scientology.
first question you don't ask is, is there some counseling? Can we pray for you? Nope. You sit
No.
here and figure out we can get this money, this money. It's not
Mm-hmm.
yours. She can
Tracy,
do whatever she wants to with it. If she wants to leave it to 3 cockroaches, 2 dogs, and a cat, guess what she gets to leave it to? You shut up. I wish I could just tell people, shut up. Don't say
but
nothing.
this goes
Don't do
back.
nothing.
This this literally goes back to the conversation we were having prior to this, where we're basically saying that you do something wrong and it just comes back to you, and that's what I'm saying is that's not how it works. These parents effectively disown their child
Yeah.
Yeah.
because their child decided not to continue in the faith. It's so where's their negative punishment? Is it the loss of the daughter? I don't know. But they're looking at their daughter almost guaranteed as you
A benefit.
violated your faith. So what comes to you is a punishment, and this is a punishment that's being brought to you because of
Mm-hmm.
your action, right? And that is what I gather when you're talking about, because she had such a heavy like thread of like that cultish religious thing going on.
That
I've known a
sounded
number of those
similar.
people, and they really do believe that when something bad happens to you, they just go reaching through the archives to find something bad you did that they'll tie the two together and be like karma. You're like,
There are some churches. I've listened to a lot of stories and documentaries and everything else, and this is my perspective. It wasn't said on anything that I've seen anything. This is purely my perspective. But there are some parents out there who and people, but we're talking about this story, so I'll say the parents. There are parents out there that, to me, just seemingly says to their child, "You are my child, and I love you as long as you go to this church," without actually saying that.
Don't so
So
or
much
so
as
more
long
long
as
as
she
you
you
actually
follow this
say it.
faith.
as long as you follow this faith, and yeah, there's to a extent, but some just flat out this church. As long as you in
Yeah,
this
that's true.
church, but
I'm
I
just
get what you're
saying,
saying. But with this faith, the whole thing, as long as you in this faith, as long as you abide by the rules of this church, an outside entity of this household, an outside entity of our blood together as father, mother, and daughter, mother, and son, all that stuff. As long as you're in with us, we are family. When you decide to leave, we're no longer family.
That's because you
We're at this
violated
point
God.
now. So now, why this parents are treating her like this is very simple because they know you care so much about these two nieces that you will do anything, including giving us the money now to take care of them. Mind
I don't
you,
even think they think
I
that
don't
far.
want you. I don't want you. I don't care. I know that you dying. I get it, yet you're dying. That's not the and honestly, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I'm sorry that nobody says it out loud, but it's the truth. I don't care that you're dying.
Yep, basically that's what she was
The
saying.
nieces are in this church. They're still within this church, and we need money to take care of these nieces. And we know that you have the money to give us to take care of these
You
nieces
know what?
who are still under our
Marlon, they should
influence.
have thought about that when they were
They not.
blocking the aunt from taking care of the nieces. Like like it
That's
costs
but no
nothing to
no
raise
they
children.
no
When
because see
you raise
what you're doing is giving them the logic. This not logic.
And
You're out of the
not only
church.
that,
You're out of
give
the
up those
church. You
children.
are done. You
Yeah,
are dead to us. You are done. The only thing that we care about is these nieces who are still in this church, and we know that you are gullible
but
enough
you're
to
assuming
still
that
care about these nieces.
they didn't
So
think
give us the money
about,
now.
gee, we're older. Maybe we should give the children to somebody
they're
that can
not
take
running.
them.
They're
They're
not going
not
by
running
that.
off of logic.
They're
This
not
is the
No.
using
thing, and
logic.
this is not a shot against believers because I'm not a non-believer. I'm a believer. It's a matter of when you correspond to this group think religious structure, it's not just gonna be logic that comes into the argument. You know what I'm saying? Like for them, especially if they're like devout in how they really truly feel about their faith, this isn't even about their family. Their family is important, but their relationship to God overweighs everything. Everything. So if the rules for me being obedient and a good steward and follower of whatever faith that is that I'm tied to is that I don't deal with non believers, and then you, even though I tried my best to bring you up in the tradition, you choose to be a non believer. And you think I'm going to go and take these two souls that God has placed in my household from me? I have saved them from their father who is already touched by the demon seed or whatever. And I am now responsible
Hmm.
for these two souls. And you want me to take these two souls and hand them to another?
But they'll take her money. They'll take her
They'll take the
money.
money though. They
Oh,
take the
sure.
money.
Yeah,
They'll take
we
that
get
money.
the money.
They'll take that devil money. They'll take
Oh,
it. They gonna be like, hey,
Tracy,
yep, yep,
uh,
yep.
I had a landlord who he saw over quite a few years how sick that I could become, and he saw when I would come out of hospital how I would look. He found out that his wife got bit by a tick. She got the rash that said you're gonna have Lyme disease. So I told him, look, this is something that right now, if you can get her to a doctor and give her 3 weeks worth of antibiotics, that's a done deal. Otherwise, you are playing a lottery.
and he
And
didn't go to the hospital.
to him, it was all up to God.
Yep.
Whatever happened was God's will. There
That
And
was
those
no,
person,
people
no,
I
that's
call crazy.
yes,
Yep.
because
yeah,
if they read their, oh, I can't with these
My
people.
grandma,
No,
my grandma told me something that I'll never forget because we had to deal with this at a very early age, dealing with people like so. This ain't new. We're just knowing
no.
more and more about it, but this ain't new. And my grandma, because she had to deal with somebody that no, you just bless it away, you just bless them, you just bless it and everything else. My grandma, I'll never forget. My grandma said, "You know the blessing I got, doctors."
thank you for real. That'd be just like
Yeah.
me
I
saying,
swear.
people are like, it's like me saying I'm Christian. I'm not gonna take my insulin You know what y'all should be calling me? Well, dead one, because if I keep not taking it, that's what's going to end up happening. And second, stupid. Hello? That's why God made
There are a
medicine.
lot of
Hello?
there are a lot of short
It's
graves in the
God's
cemetery
will.
filled with children. And
It is.
unfortunately, there's
Mhm.
some longer graves with some adults behind this whole just pray it away
Yep.
situation. And that's not just with physical ailments. We are talking about mental ailments.
Mental
When they
illness.
did a
Mhm.
lot of
Mhm.
experimentation, they always go after the
Exorcism.
vulnerable or those who are mentally uh, affected. And they just
Yep.
experiment on them as though they're not real people because they're possessed. And so this thing has real legs on it. And it's not all in the past. And even if you look at it as a past, the past was 60 years ago. That's not very long ago. So it's like
It's still
Well,
it's
Here's
happening.
what
this.
I tell those people. Most likely, most of the people who say stupid stuff like that, they wear glasses. So you got so much traits. Take your glasses off. No, most of the people who talk like that, if you look at them, they wear glasses.
no, we
They
I
wear
remember I
glasses.
remember
Take
seeing
your
I
glasses off.
remember seeing the video where the lady was like, you know, you need to be real or something to the effect of God and don't do this and don't do that. And the guy
Mhm.
looked at him and went, so I'm gonna take words from a woman with bleach blonde hair, fake eyelashes, wearing makeup, with fake nails, and you try to tell somebody to be real.
No,
Like,
I feel you, but that's the so hilarious about it because what they do is they get you in this guilt system. That's why I tell people, man, if you want to and whatever your faith is, I don't care. Whatever your faith is,
Mhm.
we're all trying to make it through this life. Find your way. But can you sell your faith without using any fear? Can you do it?
Mhm.
Can you really give somebody what they need and not be lying to them to get them to follow with you without using fear? 9 times out of 10, no. We all grew up in the church. I think when you came up, you always heard about God always is watching you. You always hear about, you owe this because he paid it all for you and all this stuff. And I'm like, but God is love, but you using a whole lot of fear tactics to keep me
Mhm.
in line, right?
right,
And I'm like,
right.
this
Yeah.
family, not to make this a whole thing about religion, because it's not that. This is a small piece. Well, it's not a small piece. It's a huge piece of
It's a
the
huge.
Diaz,
family
Diaz,
dynamic.
Diaz, I want to stop you, not because we're going long.
No, because I talk too
Only
much, right?
no,
Yep.
no, actually, because I have a video is specifically on what you're talking about. So I want you to
Uh-huh.
hold on to the good stuff because I don't want you to use up all the good stuff now. And then
Ah,
when I show you the video, you go, "Yep, that's what I was saying." You don't want to
it's-
elaborate? Oh, already said it. So it's like, so
Oh no, he
hold
gonna
on to that
elaborate
stuff.
twice. I mean,
So
I love
hold
you
on
too,
to that
Tracy.
stuff. We're out of the past. We're out of the first hour. I'm ignoring her. So,
I
but
told y'all gonna get salty Tracy all week. All week.
so we're just gonna go on to the second hour, salty or not salty, whatever. We will see y'all. Everybody that's new, this is our first hour. We normally take a three because apparently I got people watching that's normally not this high of a number. So we're gonna go into the second hour. So for everybody that's new, we take a 3 minute break to reboot and refresh. And just so we make sure that we go into the second hour on a good note, here's a squirrel running a touchdown.
I like his pad level, James. Open field runner.
Yeah. Hey, look at him go. The 20. Wes, he might do it. Wes, he's going to do it. Oh, my goodness, buddy, do it. Do it. Do it. Touchdown. Oh, man, he's my favorite squirrel. Look at him. Oh, poor guy. He's tired. That's not a
worn
very good
out.
celebration. He doesn't work on his celebration.
Got worn out.
Oh.
You people.
wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Finally, I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally.
We are back for the second hour. Theus Robinson will be back in a minute. But as always, let's go ahead and pay those bills before we get into it. Please do not forget to support Tracy, who needs to wipe her mouth, and at patreon.com/a better Tracy media page. Please help support her on all her causes. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/complex mind. Help support Theus Robinson, who is back now in all of his causes. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/radical truth to power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, borrelia.etc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you want to drop me a line or any kind of way, or even a Mafia video of the week, it's at radtp@outlook.com. That's radtp@outlook.com. And do not forget that next week, as always, Saturday Night Vibe, every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember that next week starts off our Black history, in which we are going to learn the Black history that they do not teach in school.
I look forward to it.
Not the smoothest, but hey, it's better than normal. Am I the a-hole? I'm going to go ahead and play this and then tell you at the end, after I listen to everybody, why I like playing videos like this. special reason for it, trust me. But here we go.
Daughter for help? I'm 54 years old and my daughter is 28. She's home on break from grad school getting her PhD. She's only home for 2 weeks because she says she doesn't have any more time, even though she has a month-long break. That's been a big thing with her lately. She's constantly too busy to do things with us or help out, even though she does have the time. I got my younger daughter a sweater, and it turns out that she already has it. I called my older daughter from work on Friday and told her that she had to run and exchange it for a different one. She said, okay, she'd do it the next day. I said that it had to be done that day to get the best options, and she said that she was grading papers, so she can't. I told her that it's not like she can't pause her grading, run out, and exchange it. She said that she wasn't going to slow down her work and just said that I should do it when I got back from work that day. I said that I was busy and I didn't feel like running out after a long day of work, and she said neither did she. But she doesn't even have a long day of work. She's sitting on her butt on her computer all day. And she doesn't even have scheduled hours to work. She can do it whenever she wants. Today, things really kicked off because I needed her to pick up an online order for a gift for my mom, her grandma. She again used the excuse of grading. She hadn't even started working yet. It was in the morning and she was drinking coffee and having breakfast. She said that she needs to have her grades done by today, but I looked it up on the website and she has until Monday evening, so I called her on her BS. She said that she had other work due on Monday, so she needed to get the grading done today. But she wouldn't enlighten me as to what this mysterious other work is. I said, well, tough. This needs to be picked up today so I can wrap it, and I was going into the office so I couldn't do it. She said that if I don't want to do it myself, then she'll do it on her own time. I told her, with that attitude, she can stay somewhere else, and she said, happily, and then packed her things claiming that she didn't want to stay here anyway, but was only doing so because I insisted. She left her gifts for everyone and said to not expect her for the holidays and that she'll go to her girlfriend's family instead. I think it's ridiculous that she's throwing a fit just because she can't constantly live like she's the only person on the planet. But my wife and my other daughter are now furious with me. So I figured I'd ask here because my younger daughter is always reading these stories with me. Am I the butthole, or am I correct that my daughter is self-centered and childish?
Yeah, both are.
Well, your daughter's pursuing her PhD, I think they said.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole job. Okay, going after your PhD. I know a couple people who've done their PhD while they work. I don't know how to do it. But that's a whole job. I mean, just because it looks like somebody's not doing something, that doesn't mean that they aren't. And then even if they aren't, you don't own their schedule. So, okay, you drew the line and you were like, all right, you're not going to do what I tell you to do because you're my child, because that's what this really comes down to. You're my child, and I say you need to do what I need you to do when I need you to do it. And so the child, who's also an adult, is like, I don't mind doing things, but it's on my schedule, not your schedule for me. And so once you tell me get out, deuces. I'm like, yeah. So I'm sorry. I mean, unless this is one of those it gets worse situations.
It's not. It's not. It's
Yeah,
okay.
remember you said that the
Then-
last time and it turned out to be.
I've never said that. I never said.
You
I
want
will
me to
literally
pull
tell
out the
you it
tape?
gets
You
worse,
want
but
me to pull out
no,
the tape? Do you want me to pull out the tape?
you're gonna have to pull out the tape because I have never said anything.
2 weeks ago. Is this it gets worse? Nope. And then I'm like, oh.
She's right.
Thank
She's
you,
She is
Ken.
right.
Oh,
She is
okay.
right.
Yep.
Well, I never said I was
I
gonna.
don't
stop
know if
lying
it was 2 weeks, but I remember that episode.
I never said I wasn't gonna stop lying this year. I just said a year. Anna,
But
so I
yeah,
can tell you
but
what
no,
I think.
I'm like, that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Could the daughter have been more flexible? Perhaps. But it's a matter of, it's not just what you're asking somebody to do, it's how you're asking them. So you making demands on somebody while it's things you could do yourself, and then try to make them the bad guy for not jumping when you say jump? Nah. I'm on the daughter side here.
Anna,
I really don't have much to add to that because just He laid out all reason.
Okay. So here's why I like playing these stories. I love playing these stories because I love how people who are clearly the a-hole actually think they're in the right and write it as if they're not. So, Tracy, I know you say you don't have to do it. It's my show and everything, but I do it out of respect for you. So, obligatory, sorry for what I'm finna say. Daddy, go get your own shit. Because this is what it literally all boils down to. Anything right now that your 30-year-old daughter, because I have 30-year-old daughters, is favors. When they was in my household, when I was buying everything, when me and my wife was doing everything, it was rules and regulations. And it was rules and regulations to teach you when you get on your own, these things have to be done. That does not mean I somehow stop learning how to do things too. That I depend on my children to do it for me, so I'm going to stop doing it. You, Daddy O, forgot that. You really did. You still in that my house, my rules without figuring out that, oh, wait a minute. When I throw her out, she literally can leave and go somewhere else, and it won't be hard on her like you thought it would be if they was a kid. I'll kick them out and it'll be real hard on them and they'll see how the real world is and then they'll come back and no. Daddy O. She's 30. She knows the world. So when you say get out of my house, deuces, I'm out. You're not putting any pressure on me, bro. None. And she was right when she said it. Whether you like to hear it or not, she was right when she said it. Which you didn't listen because you so stuck in your mind frame of my house, my rules mentality that you didn't hear when she said, I'm only staying here because you wanted me to. Do you understand that she didn't say because she wanted to, that she wanted to be with her family, that she wanted to be with her mom, that she wanted to be with her dad, that she wanted to be with her siblings? She only was there because you wanted her to, and I'm just stepping out of left field because the story didn't say anything about it, but now it kind of sounds like there's a reason why you wanted her to.
To run his errands or her errands.
You had no business whatsoever knowing what her schedule is. You had no business trying to figure out what she can and can't do. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
Well, obviously, the parent doesn't think that the child or the adult, because that's what she is, the adult has a job. She said, listen the way they framed it. She sits at a computer all day. That doesn't mean you're not working. What does she want?
Because you still have people, unfortunately, in society, outside of this story, Tracy, outside of this story, you still have people in this society that really feels like that. If you ain't breaking your back and your hands ain't coming back scratched up and crumbled up and everything else, if you're not sweating for the 8 hours that you're there with a 30-minute break and everything else, if you're sitting in a chair in the air conditioned in quietness, you're not working.
You're not working.
You have people right now who look at remote workers who think they're not working because now they're home.
I mean, but here's the thing. One, a lot of times the remote workers, man, they never mind.
We are working.
I'm not saying they're not working. I'm not saying they're not working. I work remote a lot.
For a while,
okay,
so go ahead.
I work a lot. I work, 50, 60 hours a week. And 2/3 of my time is remote work, or maybe 50-50. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. I work a lot, and I do remote work too. But that was just me being a bit of a butt. But with the thing, like what Marlon was saying, I think a lot of this is people are selfish creatures, man. And So they look at it only through their own lived experience. So even though as the parent, I have to imagine that part of why your daughter went to college and she's going to get her PhD, it sounds like she's getting a PhD in education because she's grading papers. So she might be a college professor or a high school or some kind of educator.
Or assistant
Um,
or something, yeah.
these are all things that in theory, you were pushing her to do. You were pushing her to be in an opportunity that fit her, that allow her to make a living off of her mind and not her body. So, but the thing is, he is still looking through everything through his own lived experiences. So his lived experiences is him getting up and going to a job he hates every day. And him going in there and doing it because when I do this,
Good.
this is a labor of love. Even though it sucks, I'm doing this for my family. So part of the love of family is the pain of work. So if that's the mentality that he's viewing things through, and then he hasn't separated from the fact that this is my adult child, right? You got those things sitting on top of each other. You get that old school work ethic, and then you get the parental thing, right? My daughter is grown, and I fully expect that if I tell her to do something, she's gonna do it.
Right.
Now, I also know that she's an adult, so I ain't gonna ask her to do nothing that's gonna create a conflict. But I'm just saying, like my parents, look, how old am I? Right? I'm 40 something years old. My parents tell me to do something. It's no, but I don't wanna. Okay, it's yes, ma'am, or
Look,
here's why I can, or here's why I can't. Right? But my parents also taught to me as an adult. They don't
Right.
bark orders at me. They ask, right? Like you said, Marlon, when you were younger, I told. Now I ask, right? But this family dynamic, he hasn't learned that yet. He hasn't flipped that switch, and
He
I think
doesn't
that he's
want to.
probably coming. Well,
my
sometimes
mom.
people. Sometimes it's
Some
not that people don't want to. Sometimes it's just not in their skill set. Like it's not in his lived experience. I'm just saying it's not necessarily the case here. But we live in a world where conservatives are real, and conservatives are notorious for anecdotal logic and lived experience wisdom. Right.
Yeah.
So in that type of situation, like he's self-limited, but it's not that he doesn't want to learn, perhaps. He doesn't even know how to be different. This is him.
You have some parents, unfortunately, and I'll go with what this said because maybe they haven't learned. Because I was brought up a different way. Every lesson that I learned as a kid was for me to become an adult. It was slow. It was trickling water. It ain't like, because I want to make it perfectly clear. No, my mama didn't say at 14 years old, you need to go work in the steel mill and all this other stuff because I want all that stuff. But it was trickling effects. Hey, seems like you tall enough that you can reach the sink. I think it's time for you to start learning how to wash dishes. Hey, I think you can reach the stove. So while I'm in the kitchen, because like I said, this was trickling water. While I'm in the kitchen, you hungry, you go cook you something to eat. Now, what's the washing the dishes thing? Because as I grow older, I'm not washing your freaking dishes, especially when I know you're the one that's making the most mess. So you need to go wash dishes. What's the cooking thing? Hey, you the one that's always dang hungry, and I'm not your maid, so I'm gonna go. You need to go cook dinner for you. Now, that's at the child's level. What that got to do with being an adult? Being an adult is, hey, because I want to make sure that when you on your own, you know how to wash dishes, wash clothes, know how to iron, cook for yourself. So you don't marry somebody because they are better at doing this stuff than you, and you're in a relationship that ain't really working. You know how to do these things on your own. Now, going back to this father, because I went way left on all this stuff. Going back to this father, you have parents who really feel like I raised you, so you owe me. And I always want to go to those parents and tell them, no, that was your job. That was what you were supposed to do. They don't owe you squat, but you need to teach them respect. As what Thea said, my mom, if y'all don't know, my mom is staying with me temporarily until they take care of her house. My mom literally have said on many occasions, and by the way, because she knows how to say it now, because she's been doing it for years. Molly, go get your mama something to drink. And I would do it. Why? Because my mom raised me very well and I loved her and she loved me and I would do that for her. Now, she doesn't do the good old days of calling me all the way from outside when I was down at the park to say, hey, can you get the remote off the table? Ma, the table's like 10 feet away from you. I was like 2 miles up the road. What are we doing here? So in that respect, it's the same thing as saying, no, she's not going to call me to run downstairs to go get her something to drink.
She should.
She do it herself. This
Builds
father,
character.
it builds whatever. That crap was irritating, man. Wow, right.
Change the TV. That's what I was, a TV changer.
Yep.
That was my only function.
We literally grew up with a bunch of remotes, but by the way, let me tell you a mama story because this is so funny, and I'm pretty sure she was trying to use it to teach me a lesson. It just infuriates me, and it still does today. And I tell my mom, by the way, I'm not saying anything that I haven't told my mom, and she said the same thing. Boy, get over it. You're still alive. But my mom does this thing where she would say, same thing, because my room happens to be downhill from the park, so she can yell out my window because I be at the park. Marlon come in the house. Okay, I go in the house. I go upstairs. Remember, because your mama told you to go upstairs. Well, come in the house. She's upstairs. Come upstairs. Okay, yes, Ma. Go downstairs and get me some water. Ma, I just ran all the way up here. My mom without missing a beat sat here and said, well, it ain't my fault you didn't ask me what you wanted before you ran upstairs.
That's her
Now,
prerogative.
in Mama's defense, first of all, in Mama's defense,
she tired.
did you expect her to open the window? First of all, she shouldn't have to yell for your behind. But then, she yells out there.
What?
She had 2 choices. No. She got 2 choices. She can yell for you, Marlon, and then you heard your name, and you know it came from your parent, so you know you got to report, right? So you do. The alternative path to what you talking about would have been, Marlon, come to the house and get me some water. Yelling that out the window to all your little friends. So
and embarrassing you.
She really didn't have another option.
Mm-mm.
You came to the house, came upstairs so that she could then tell you what she needed. I'm on Mama's side here.
I'm gonna be on Mama's side because
there's a shock.
She yelled down the stairs.
Yeah, she called you in the house as to not to embarrass you in front of your little friends.
Although she did at one time, it was very short lived. I always wondered she will give me the time frame. Marlon, you got 10 minutes yelling that out the window. So no, I don't think embarrassing is the deal.
But every parent did that. But she didn't yell out, "Give me some water," and then I want some water and some crackers, and get that remote that's right in front of me. She ain't do all that. She said, "I'm going to shield Marlon." No, I'm going to shield Marlon from the embarrassment of me yelling out that I want some water. Sure, she could have gotten it herself, but she was trying to get you to exercise. That's what she was trying to do.
Again, I'm at the park. It's not like I was.
She don't know what you was doing at
the
park.
I better not say it ain't like I was standing around doing nothing at the park. Yeah, there was probably some times I was.
You was standing around park doing nothing. Doing nothing.
Doing nothing. Yeah.
Trying to play basketball and couldn't even play.
Is that you ain't hurt my feelings on that, but I couldn't play basketball.
Trying to pick up some girl and she didn't even want you. Your mama was trying to save you.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey. Now you hit low.
Out there chasing them girls. Ain't nothing out there but hard times and bad luck. You ain't got no business out there. Look, I saved. Bring your behind up in this
Yep,
house
she was saving
and
you.
get me this water, and don't give me no attitude, because then you ain't going back out that door. So
Yep.
give my water,
That's the only that's
and
the only
then
true thing you
then
said.
then
Sorry.
get my kiss on cheek. All right, now go
Mm.
Yes, I don't see why Marlon getting all mad. You should thank your mother for
I'm sorry.
raising you.
I enjoyed all my hard time and all my bad luck.
He's just gonna take
on.
us
Just
off the
saying.
show.
I have no resentment. Yeah, it didn't work out, but I ain't trading it for Jack.
Mhm.
I'd go get it was the game. Real or nah. Shake your head all you want to, Thiz. That was the game.
Mama trying to save you, and you just
Out here in them
determined.
streets, he just want to be in them
Yeah,
streets.
enjoy myself. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the answer to this personally. I'm gonna say nah, but once again, it's in those circumstances that nah, because I just really don't want people to be this stupid.
I'm at the park with my daughter and girlfriend, helping her play on the slide, as cute kid is running around with a stranger's kid, playing with a fake gun and finger guns. Now, I'm trying to make it a personal habit to always carry my gun with me wherever I go. I fully conceal it as much as possible, but I'm guessing when I reached up to put my baby girl on the slide, it must have revealed it. Cause next thing I know, I feel a tug at my shirt where my gun is, so I quickly turn around and it goes as follows. "What's up, little buddy?" The cute kid says, "Let me see your gun. We're playing cowboys and he doesn't have one." He points to his friend. No, sorry, pal. No one can have this but me. It's dangerous." The cute kid looks angry, so he pretends to shoot me and runs off. Over? I hoped, but no. Soon I hear a ahem. What? "Why can't my kid play with your toy?" What toy? "The toy gun on your hip." No, sorry. This is a real gun and it's dangerous. I proceed to check to make sure it's still hidden under my shirt, and it is. "So just take the bullets out and let him play with it." How about you F off? She has a baffled look. "Well, I never. What's the harm of him playing with it if it's unloaded?" I'm sure you haven't, and because loaded or not, I'm not letting a child play with an effing gun, you halfwit. Don't you have someone else's business to mind? "I'm going to call the police because you have a gun at a park." Go right ahead, it's a public place. She huffs and storms off, not to be heard from again. It was an annoying encounter that put a damper on my already sour day. So when the entire
So, I was like, most of this was a real. I just can't imagine even the most Karen of Karening Karens would be
Asking
that
to
obtuse,
Yeah,
play
right?
that's
with a
what I'm
Like
like.
gun?
Nah, this
Oh,
is not real.
the
oh, thank
yeah, the
goodness.
part about calling the police, okay, I can get that because you're trying to bully this man. But like for example, I carry mine a lot, and not as often as I should, but I do. And like the people were doing some work at the house, and they all speak just Spanish. Nobody spoke English. And I heard Senor Pistola. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they didn't see my gun. So I realized, because I didn't even think about it being on me. But one thing I do know is, and this is a part of the story that like really started, this part annoyed me about the story. He said, I felt a little tug on my shirt. When you have a gun on you, no one gets within a certain range of you, right? Like you're hypersensitive to that thing being on you. Now, sometimes your shirt will come up and they might see the holster. That's one thing. But for someone to touch you, that makes me like, you shouldn't have a gun,
Yo, shouldn't.
because in that moment, that child could have reached for it and you would have reacted, or someone who actually knows what to do with it could have pulled it. So it's like that part just upset me as a concealed carry person because no one should be able to touch you and you not know that they're there.
Right.
They got a little too close. They got closer than what they should have been able to.
Well, yeah, because someone was close enough to tug on his shirt, right? So that's a
Mhm.
child in this particular case, but an adult would have just flipped your shirt and grabbed it, right? It only takes a second if you know what you're doing. So it's like that's why when you are carrying lethal force on you, you have to everything around you should be always being processed. I don't mean walking around looking like you're crazy, but everything around you should be categorized, aware, this is buffer zones, all of that stuff, because you don't get to get it wrong. You don't get to be wrong. So that part just annoyed me. But the part that was fake was the whole thing where we just unload it and let them play with it. No, I don't think anybody's that dumb. So
Okay, I truly appreciate it because I like I said, I listen to these stories and I get so skeptical. But even when I got to this, like unloaded and it should be safe, and I'm thinking, lady,
It's a gun.
and there's something that Daphne said at the end. I didn't
This
want
is
to
a
play it,
weapon. This is not a toy.
but here's the deal. The funny thing about it is Daphne, who does these videos, said something at the end. I didn't want to play it. And by the way, StreamYard, if you have a way where I can actually get a video on it and skip to the part that I want to, so I wouldn't have to say it, but
Mm.
like y'all listening.
StreamYard is not listening to
Yeah,
you.
like StreamYard listening to me.
They
But
not sitting there like, well, Marlon said.
Marlon said,
hey, call
but he
everybody.
did
I know it's Sunday. Get them in the office now.
Right
No.
now. Because Marlon said.
alarm goes up. He said something.
This is what we trained for, folks. This is what we
This is
trained
what we've
for.
been training for weeks. People sliding down poles.
Sorry, Mom.
He said something that did strike me. How dangerous could it be? Let's carry this out to fruition. Bring police. There is a kid running around here with a real gun.
And kid is black.
Police shows up. He pulls his gun. Hey kid, put that gun down.
Nope.
The gun who's the kid.
No, this must be a white kid.
Yeah, because the
Tamir
black
Rice
kid, he'd have got
didn't
his
get
shot.
all that.
Oh,
Tamir Rice didn't get all that. This must
They
be a
just
white
shot
kid.
him. Just shot him for no
Yeah.
reason.
With like 3 seconds. Stop the car, got out the car, shoot the kid. That was Tamir Rice's experience. So
StreamYard has a special alert when Marlon has a eat.
Yeah, this whole story basically ditto
No.
Theus, ditto Marlon. No parent, I don't care how stupid they are. I don't care if they're Karen. I don't care if they're Donald Trump. I don't care if they're George W. Bush. I don't care how dumb they are. They're not going to say, take the bullets out, and that'll make it less harmful. It's a gun. When they make up stories, they should at least make it kind of sound like it could be real. This was like, I'm calling BS on the whole thing.
All right, I'm glad Theus is here today. I'm also very appreciative of Anna and Tracy always being here. And Theus, Theus, this is special.
Theus sometimes is here. I heard that. You read it between the lines?
No,
that was fair
and
though.
You know why?
It was fair.
But
It was a
It
fair
was
call out.
fair.
I'm not putting Theus's business out there. There's a reason why Theus hasn't been here. I was shocked that he was here today. And I'm literally not going to put any more pressure on Theus whatsoever to be on this show. So I would truly appreciate Theus taking time out of his busy schedule to be here. Although I did get a text from Theus that me and him have to discuss. Don't get comfortable, brother. So the point is, I got 2 videos that's out of the realm. And sorry, ladies, I know you're gonna be mad because Tracy is the first one that's gonna go. Oh, she talking about us, Anna. Yeah, y'all would not do this with me. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Thea's would, because Thea's is just as nutty as a fruitcake as I am. So I know Thea's would do it. And the
As a nutcase.
so the question was asked, and Anna, just a heads up, you may want to put your head down because it's movement. It's a car driving, but it ain't. I don't know. The question was asked.
I might be able to.
Yeah, it's not bad. He's just driving through dirt and crap. But the question was asked: how do you mind F somebody? In other words, how is the most obtuse thing that you can do just to F with somebody's head? So here is number 2 of me and Theus messing with somebody's head.
Me and my friend used to do this thing, always unprompted by either, just organically started. When together with a group, one of us would ask, what's the difference between a banana and an orangutan? When nobody guesses, the punchline is, you peel the banana. The other guy just then loses it, cracking up. Everyone else is left confused. When they ask for the explanation, we just keep exaggerating the peel part, and motion like we're peeling a banana. You peel it. You peel the banana. Eventually, we will try to change the subject and slowly move on, having never explained anything or given away that it's a ruse.
This does not sound like a me thing.
That sounds like 2 12-year-olds. Like, are you?
I don't have the creative capacity. Like I'm not fast on the draw like that.
Oh.
And he kept saying peel. I still didn't get it. I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, what are you, 13?
The point. You're right. It's like a juvenile thing, but the point, Tracy, is a matter of just when there's an inside joke, but the joke was told to you, and then they just kind of make you seem like you're not getting something that you should get. Even though they're purposely doing something,
they could have just said an inside joke. Okay, if they said,
and just to make it a little rougher, I'm pretty sure they didn't try to do that on purpose, but just to make it a little rougher, it's your fault that you didn't get the joke. Like,
no, it's their fault for being stupid.
Okay,
but that's what I'm saying.
At that time, you're supposed to be like, why am I not getting this joke? What is wrong with me about? When the fact of the matter is, it was never a joke. It was just
an inside joke that you were left out of.
Well, it's not really an inside joke.
It's an inside joke from the standpoint. Yeah, it's an inside joke from the standpoint of me and Marlon conspired to tell a story that makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's the inside joke.
Yep, that would do that.
But then with you and with any whoever we're telling it to, we're being entertained by you trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make sense.
It's senseless.
And that's the whole joke.
And I'm gonna ask again, what are y'all, 13?
Yeah, probably
12.
Some of these
12,
are.
thank you.
Some of these are. But this is the one I want to do with these. This is the one I want to do with these.
You guys are doing that.
This is the one I want to do with these.
What are some harmless ways to F with people? My dad used to have this game with a friend. They embarrassed me endlessly while I was a teen, but that was a bonus. Basically, when they were walking in the street, whenever they were passing someone, they would say things like, "Remember when you pushed your mother-in-law down the stairs?" Or, "I mean, it wasn't that much drug. Usually I carry way more than that." Or, "Where did you hide the knife after stabbing him?" You get the idea. Anything absolutely awful, as if they were having an entire conversation about drugs, murder, whatever. My dad and his friend had the whole hippie look as well, so innocent passers-by would quickly cross the street.
Again, how old are these people?
As a young person in my 20s, before I knew to be thoroughly afraid of the police, I would probably, I could see myself.
Me as a black woman making jokes about murder is gonna get me shot. Period.
Yeah, I agree. But this is like one of those things that reinforces, to those who are aware of it, it reinforces the fact that we don't live in the same world. Mm-hmm. And Because like this is harmless fun to some people. In fact, there's a whole TikTok stream, and this is black, white, everybody does it, but where they just kind of walk by somebody and they say, "Ooh, nice yams." But they in the grocery store and they were talking about the yams, but there was a woman with a really nice body that was standing nearby, right?
Oh, I remember.
Or
Oh, so I was
man, I'd
somewhere
like
in the vicinity. Okay, got it.
you're my sister. I can't do that, sis. But then like they'll be walking down, they be like, man, I'd like to taste that. And then, the person be like, oh, what you say to me? I want talking about the cereal right there. So that kind of harmless stuff I see is kind of funny or whatnot. But at the same time, it's not harmless because it's extremely sexist. Um, but like
Just
there's a
you,
whole
me, and
stream.
Marlon walk in a grocery store, and let's just start talking about where did you put the knife at? Somebody gonna be calling the police on us.
Yes, we
Period.
would they
Yeah,
would
yeah,
they
yes. That's
would
why
have
literally that's why they said the sidewalk, not a structural place where you're
It
well,
don't
walking
but it
matter.
down.
doesn't
They would
matter,
cross
Marlon,
the street and then call the
because
police on us.
it makes me think of I can't remember his first name because there's been so many at this point. But way back in the beginning, Crawford. Remember Walmart, air gun, police show up, shoot him in the aisle, right? Um, people don't get the opportunity to explain ourselves all the time.
We sure
So that's
don't.
why like the joke is it's cool, but we don't live in the same world. So like I can watch them do it and laugh and be like, yeah, that is funny, man. You sitting there, I could see doing, yeah, you don't do that in mixed company. Don't.
All right, well, I lived to learn. Take that off the board. Not gonna do that no more.
Yeah, don't do that one.
No, I mean this whole segment. Never doing that segment again.
Oh, what? I thought it went okay.
Live and learn. 2 days, two segments up, two segments down.
Yeah, two seconds.
Two segments up, two new segments up, two new segments down.
I thought it
Foxy's,
went okay.
Foxy's videos of the week. So, Theas, this is why I was telling you that I didn't want you to use your energy up on that conversation that we was having in the first hour. Because, like I said, at the last second, I remember, oh, wait a minute. I literally have a video that's saying exactly what he's talking about. So, here we go.
You better convert and love Jesus, or you're gonna burn in hell forever. I'm already a Christian. Are you, though? Yeah, I'm not gonna play this game. I'm just trying to tell you the truth in love. Repent or burn. Okay, what do you mean, okay? I mean, I'm not gonna respond to your antagonism with hatred or anger because I don't want to help your leaders manipulate you through isolation. What? If you really wanted me to convert, you'd talk to me about Jesus' miracles, the way he healed people, fed people. You'd probably give me some free food. That sounds like bribing people to believe in Jesus. I didn't say it was ethical. I just said it would be more effective. But people need to know that the wages of sin is death. Or consider that your leaders are intentionally trying to isolate you. What? When you go out and tell people they'll burn in hell, the response is usually negative, right? Hostile even. It teaches you that the outside world is bad and you're good. It makes you feel persecuted, even though you were the aggressor in the first place. That all has the effect of isolating you and strengthening your loyalty to your brand of Christianity. It's intentional. It hurts people and it doesn't actually save souls.
Boom. It's all part of the control structure. The reason why they reject you is because you're a peculiar people. So you're just trying to bring them the truth, and the people who are afraid of the truth, who are more enthralled with the ways of the world, they're gonna pull back and they're going to persecute you. But they'll persecute you for my namesake. And I'm blah blah. Even though the model of the one that you supposedly follow is they persecute you for doing good things, right? The persecution can be real, but it's because you're doing good things. You're serving people who are not necessarily like you. Um, you're not doing all of your service inside the church, because the few times Jesus did go into church, it was to run out the people who were abusing the church. So, but anyway, find your way, do your thing. But that's where I get at people. Like, no matter what your thing is, though, like
Is
it doesn't necessarily have to be
the internet?
religious, but just if you're supposedly wanting to help people, then don't make them feel. I mean, sometimes you got to make people feel bad for what they're doing wrong, but you're not catching somebody who's doing something wrong. You literally coming to them saying that the wages of sin, death, and I'm like,
Pull back on the fear.
who created sin? Why'd they create it?
I just like the part where she said if the punishment for your sins is death.
Hell.
No, death is death. Are you trying to tell me what
No.
comes after death? Because
They're
we're
talking about a
okay.
spiritual
So tell
death.
me what's after death. Don't tell me the punishment for your sin is death, because no, we're literally all gonna die eventually.
They're not talking about a physical death.
But that's just
Then
it. They don't know that though, Tracy.
Right.
9 times out of 10, when someone quotes that scripture to you and they say that the wages of sin is death, they are literally talking to you about a physical death. Now we know, and hopefully they should know, that it's not that the Bible speaks in allegory and fable so that it can make complex things tangible and reachable to you. But we know it should be about your spiritual health, your spiritual life, your walk with God, right? So it's a spiritual death, right? When you embrace sin, that means you are pulling intentionally away from God's mercy and God's love and God's grace.
But
So that's a spiritual death.
But the people who do that, there's more to that sentence, because the rest of that sentence is, but wait a minute, I gotta say it to myself. But the gift of God is eternal life. I knew I was like, wait a minute, let me say that whole verse in my head.
Could you actually say the entire thing for me, please?
Yeah, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life.
Okay, thank you.
I had to say the whole thing. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me get that whole thing in my head.
But we still have these same people who pick and choose, cut in most aspects of the Bible that fits their final goal.
I mean, even I do it.
Their final goal.
I mean, I do it. So if I do
well,
it,
that's the thing. And
it's
I know it
thing
sounds pejorative. I say it really to, I say it to offend.
Hold on
because
for a minute. Yes, Parker, you have been doing this all night. So
Parker is losing.
Up one of your messages, because I know it's stressful looking at the game and listening to us and trying to go, oh, they up 20-20. Yeah, I think that woman's crazy. Oh, he just made a touchdown. Yeah, I don't think she need to be giving that gun to that kid. Oh, so Parker, I'm going to give you kudos for holding 2 different conversations at the same time.
Well done.
Well done, Parker.
I couldn't do that.
Look, even though I do look up there and be looking, oh, it's 20-13. Then, man, you know what? We need to stop all this BS, and we need to stop doing this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And then Diaz was talking. I look up there and go, I was 20-20. When did that happen? How did it happen? Yeah, man, I have no idea why that woman would think giving a gun to a child unloaded his face. That's just stupid. So Parker, kudos, man. You're doing great.
It's probably gonna go into overtime, Parker. Which is gonna stress you out even more. Hey, at least your team is close enough to go into overtime. My team sat there and went all quit. Like they ain't even played football. Let me shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Your team did a great job with defense.
Their defense just don't even care. The game over.
I care.
Next video. and try to keep up, because when I first looked at the video, I was like, what is this dude talking about? And then when I started putting the pieces together, I went, yeah, this is exactly where we at right now with your arguments.
So let me make sure I got this right. 87,000 IRS agents dressed in drag and high on rainbow fentanyl are coming to take our gas stoves and replace them with electric ranges as has been smuggled across the U.S. border by Mexican cartels. But not to worry, because we're going to get to the bottom of whether or not the green M&M is a lesbian, the body composition of the purple M&M, and we can smoke in the Capitol building again. That's pretty much where we're at.
Gentlemen, the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like I said, the first time I listened to it, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Then when I listened closely, I went, yep, that's literally where
Minnie
y'all
Mouse
at right
wears
now.
pants. I mean, it's like and this is one thing I said I was gonna stop doing on my own show. I'm gonna stop talking about these stupid Minnie Mouse wears pants. Really? You're not worried about homelessness. You're not worried about substance abuse disorder running rampant. You're not worried about PSCD running rampant among our soldiers. You're worried about the sexual orientation of a piece of candy.
And first
Everything
of all,
you just said, Tracy, is to the people that you're speaking of, and this is a very big point between the left and the proverbial left and proverbial right. Everything you listed was a personal failing. You are addicted to drugs because of a choice you made. You are homeless because of choices you made. You have PTSD because you weren't strong enough, right? That's all. Everything you named in their world is all a personal failing.
Yep.
yeah, the
But
funny thing
never
about it is
fear,
it's not
the
something that
Republican.
they're saying that they believe. It's literally not something they believe. It's something that they know that their people will believe.
Yep, no need to fear, because if you live in the state of Utah, you can't receive gender affirming care. Yay, that'll stop it. The people, I'll say it again, the electorate needs to stop putting so many dumb people in office. Stop it. Think about what
We
these
got
people are saying.
we got to
Think.
stop pretending. We got to stop pretending that the electorate isn't doing this on purpose.
Yeah, they're
Like we
doing it
keep
on
doing this.
purpose.
They did it. They did it with the Trumpsters. They did it with the Tea Party people. It's always a matter of someone's fooling somebody. No, nobody's being fooled into nothing. These people are choosing what feels right to them. They're not worried about the logic and the X's and the O's. It's about what feels right to them. And that's it. And this is truly how they feel. They truly feel the ends justify the means. They truly feel that democracy worked when it worked, but now that it's not working, we need to change it to something that works for us. That is
And us
truly
alone,
how they
and us
believe.
and nobody else, and us not the blacks,
It's
and us
truly
not the
how they
women.
believe.
Yep.
They're not being tricked into this. They're not being fooled into giving away their bodily rights, their autonomous rights, because they know that if they just work hard and get back into the system the way it's supposed to be, then they will be positioned that not only one, because they're morally better, they won't even be in that situation, but two, that somehow it'll all work itself out. The reason why we're not so perfect is because of these imperfect people that we've allowed to have too much say in our society.
Yeah,
And
how
that's how
dare
they
you?
view it. That's how they view it. If it wasn't for the dark people mixing with their pristine light people, then they would be unvarnished. If we could just take the people
Is
who are
the
mentally
system
unfirm,
too?
stick them in
Is
an
it too
asylum. Go
like?
ahead. I'm
Is it
sorry.
too Is the system too complicated for good people to aspire to be a representative?
It's
I
too
I
don't think
mean,
so.
corrupt.
I think that the problem is we to do good things, like just the nature of doing good things. Um, you have to consider who's all at the table to do it. So the reason why democracy worked so well before is because the other voices in the room weren't allowed to speak. So when there was disagreement or when there were ideas being put forth, it was less conflict. There was still conflict because people have different ways of approaching things, but there was
Right.
less conflict. Once you
Mm-hmm.
start allowing more people who have always been in the room to actually have a voice, it becomes more complicated instead of less. So we end up in this situation where we are now, where we actually negatively incentivize certain behaviors. If you go in and you say you actually want to work to do things and make things better for people, then you're going to make a mess at first. You're disrupting what is commonly viewed as working. So you become a problem. And the other
Okay.
side, their whole job is to make it look really clear how much of a problem you are. So you get punished. The best way to not get punished is to blend in and not cause any problems. Then you can be in Congress for 40, 50 years. So we, the electorate, punish those who actually want to do the work and we reward the ones who get in the way. So it's not that the system itself is complicated. It's just that we are not incentivized to take it seriously. And so long as we also are pointed against each other, we only focus on the things that we differ on, right? And so long as America cannot get past the color issue, nothing else is going to work. And then the moment if it magically could get past the color issue, we would immediately step into the economic issue. So then how do you make that work? So there's so many things that would have to be done. I mean, and personally, to save this, I'll stop. I made a long post about things that basically, instead of working on organizing, which is something I truly believe in, and I think we have to organize,
Mm-hmm.
at a more basic level, which you guys have all heard me say. What about you? Every individual needs to own their own individualness.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're truly as good as we claim to be, we don't have to agree on anything. All we have to do as individuals is do what is right and what is beneficial to the greater good. That's it. And you'll find things start doing better. But as individuals, we don't like to do that. We like to hide in groups. So there we go.
All right.
He's
Well,
back, everybody.
he's back. Which makes me not going to play this next video because it's kind of deep and we're running out of time. So
I won't comment on the next video.
Trust me, you won't help it. Believe me. Been with you for about 2.5 going on 3 years. Trust me when I say you're going to make comments on this one. Because you can't help it. So we're going to go out on a lighter note because I know what next month is going to bring. It's going to bring some joy. It's going to bring a whole bunch of more sorrow. I want everybody mentally prepared for that. So in this show, we're going to go out on a lighter note with 3 more lighthearted videos. Starting with the first one.
So here's what I think you should do. You should write letters to all the people in your life who have wronged you, but who you don't want to have in your life anymore, and then throw them in the fire and burn them. Okay, but what do I do with the letter?
You burned the. Oh my gosh, people.
Not my fault that you didn't make it.
I knew what they meant.
People did you wrong very, very badly.
So for you to want to burn
Somebody
them,
rolled you really bad.
Well, Parker, it was nice knowing you. Parker, you and me in the same boat, bruh.
Oh well. Yeah, whatever. I told you I was going to make an atheist out of you.
Anarchist.
Anarchist.
Oh.
Very, very different from an atheist. But, all right.
Anarchist, atheist.
They not the same. They literally are not
It's
the
not a
same.
potato, I promise you.
Yeah, this ain't tomato, potato. This is apples, oranges.
Radical. Okay, the next video, dare I say, even Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. can't change everybody's heart.
So my 8-year-old came home from school the other day and said they had learned all about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "Daddy, did you know that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood up against the bad people who said that people like Kingston and I could not be friends?" And I said, "Yeah, buddy, he did a lot of great stuff." And he said, "But Daddy, why did people think Kingston and I shouldn't be friends in the first place?" And I said, "Well, buddy, there were people at that time who felt that just because you and Kingston had different skin colors, you weren't equal." And he said, "What do you mean equal?" And I said, "They felt you're not the same." And he said, "Daddy, but we are the same. We both love Batman. We both love soccer. We both love hot dogs, hamburgers, and chicken nuggets. Kingston and I are basically the same person." And I said, "Now see there, buddy, with all that in common, what would you say to people who said you should not hang out with each other just because of the color of your skin?" He said, "Well, I would call them silly." And I said, "That's right." And then he got really quiet for a second. Then he turned to me and said, "But if Kingston ever becomes a vegetarian, I probably won't hang out with him anymore." And I said, "Why would you?"
Well said. Just substitute vegetarian with vegan, and I'm right with you.
Wow.
I really don't even know what to say about that.
I don't have anything to say to that. I have nothing to say to that.
Don't anybody here come vegan? Watch what I do. Like, I'm gonna show up with
Why
ribs.
are you against vegans?
I'm not against vegans in the terms of being vegans, but some of them, y'all they be thinking they better than people. I'm like, no, you're not better than me. They had this whole little attitude about them, like, I know all about nutrition because I don't eat meat. No, you fry cauliflower and you tell yourself it's a wing.
So if I'm hearing you,
oh Jesus,
it's individuals may be okay, but as a group, you simply don't like them, and they shouldn't be part of your society.
They can have their own little separate but equal Jim Crow little thing if they want to.
Got you.
You getting salty, Tracy, all week. I'm gonna be like this all week. Tell me I can't eat steak, I'm gonna eat it, and I'm gonna be like happy. Now shut up.
Learn life. Welcome to the show. Unfortunately, you came at the wrong time when we act a plumb fool. So
this is a friend of mine. Hi, sweetheart. Love to see you here. And she's actually
welcome.
Kind of behind the scenes, so she knows what we're about.
I'm blind, so I can't read nothing. I'm having to look at this on a phone. I'm sitting in a hotel room, so yeah. But hey.
But welcome. Last video. Viewer discretion advised, and if you don't like it, too bad. Get your own show.
My best friend's cousin's name is Mike Clitoris. It's Mike Clitoris. I cannot stress to you how true this is and how impossible this man finds it to make a reservation at a restaurant.
I'm sorry, his name can't be Mike Clitoris and he eats ice cream like that.
Is that the actual guy?
Okay, it's not the actual guy. Oh. But that's only because he does not find his name funny at all.
Why didn't he just make people call him Michael?
That would be worse. It would just make it sound sassy. He'd be like, Michael Clitoris.
I'm not going to lean into it.
A good one, but also a repeat.
Yeah, that's a repeat, Marlon.
That is a repeat?
I've never seen that one.
Yes. Oh, Parker wants me to ask you and see it's a question.
Say what?
Parker wants to ask me to ask you and see it's a question.
Okay.
Have you guys ever ate chicken feet?
No.
No.
Okay, Parker, I ask it. On Friday night game night, the time that you two didn't join in, I ranked chicken pieces. I ranked pieces of chicken. And I threw away some. And I said, who eats chicken feet in their right mind? Who goes to the
Country
stores?
folk.
I don't know these people because I have never
Country
met
folk
anybody.
and island folk.
See, Parker, we was right. He said you probably have an answer.
No, country folk and island folk. There's actually, and then there's some people who fry them up and eat them.
Oh, and
I give
gizzards.
chicken feet to my dog.
And
let me put it to you this way: growing up in the hood, everything was pickled. So yeah.
Ooh.
Ugh. And
Yeah,
gizzards.
that's just nasty.
That was the other thing I said that nobody
no,
would eat on purpose.
Not gizzards, man. I know how.
Them boiled eggs that just be sitting in
The
that
actual
weird reddish
gizzards,
pink
no.
fluid.
The heart, yes.
Look, okay.
Yeah.
Here's my deal with food. Here's my thinking with food. Gizzards. I'll just put that up there at the front. I'm not working chewing my food. So I'm not gonna sit there and be chewing on meat like bubble gum until it finally just breaks down to the point where I can swallow it.
It never breaks down. That's the point of it. Never breaks down.
I'm not finna eat that. I'm sorry. That's just not finna happen.
And then I went to my diet.
But you'll eat mayonnaise.
And it's back. I don't care if chicken feet are a Chinese delicacy. I live in America.
I'm with Mickey. Again, why am I being insulted from somebody who has an encyclopedia Britannica of rules and regulations of food? You literally came up with the rule of food that floats. Nobody on the face of the planet thinks that way. Nobody.
Except me. I'm alone in that particular peculiarity. So I have, unfortunately, a rare disorder. So do not pick on me for my disability. Now, unfortunately, you are dealing with a social illusion situation, which has you afflicted with this groupthink of eating, I don't know, paste in a bottle. And that's what you like to eat. But that's because someone told you it's okay.
Food that floats. That gets rid of cereal. That gets rid of soup. That gets rid of everything that you would.
Like stew and.
Now stew, there's a little bit of an exception for stew because stew is predominantly food.
But it floats.
Right?
It floats.
No, it doesn't. Most of the food in your stew is not floating.
No. The carrots float, the peas float.
But you're still floating. It's still floating.
There
The
might
meat
be
doesn't
some
float
pieces,
because it's heavy, but everything else
right?
does.
The meat, the potatoes, right? And it's mostly about the substance with stew. Soup is literally drinking your food.
And that's good for me.
I get it. I like smoothies. Give me a smoothie. But and it's got to be a frozen smoothie. I like the cold ones. Don't give me a room temperature smoothie. That's just not okay.
That's yogurt.
No, I'm talking about when it's just pure liquid.
That's yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
No,
There's
yogurt
a couple
has
of
substance
them.
to it. Yogurt is a socially acceptable mayonnaise. So
No, wait a minute. We can ready to fight now. Oh no, you don't badmouth yogurt. You don't badmouth yogurt.
I like yogurt when it has the fruit in it. The fruit on the bottom at Publix yogurt.
Yogurt with
Publix yogurt
I don't
is the
understand
best.
the deal with people and mayo and the hatred of mayo. It's just like everything else. Then don't eat the freaking mayo. Why?
And that's fine. I don't eat the mayo. I don't eat the mayo.
Then
you like mayo.
Why are you?
And
why
people
are
who
you
like
pressure,
mayo.
Why are you trying to pressure me?
I'm not trying to pressure you. I didn't tell you not to eat the mayo.
But why are you offended that he's degrading it? That's what I want to know.
I'm just saying that mayo is disgusting. Mayo is like if you took hog's head cheese,
which is
and
delicious.
beet juice, and put. Okay, don't ever say that out loud.
It's
That's a
delicious.
terrible.
Delicious. And with some saltine crackers, y'all don't even know.
Hog's
Oh,
head
yeah.
cheese
It's
is
delicious.
meat fruitcake.
Delicious.
That's what it is.
Look
It's
at this
meat
wonderful.
fruitcake. It's the
Okay,
most
I'm sorry.
horrible thing. You
I'm
took
gonna be totally
Jello
honest with
and
you.
pork
I've never
fat
had hog
and
head
pushed
cheese.
it together.
It's
Not
delicious.
okay.
I've
You
never
put some
had hog.
saltine
I've never
crackers
had
on it,
hog
and
head
this is the
cheese.
only time I like hot sauce. When you put a little bit of hot sauce. Oh, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know about.
Oh my God, Anna! The first time that I need you to get sick so we can get off this stuff, and you're doing just wonderful.
People who don't
God
eat
dang,
chitlins won't eat hog head cheese.
Hog head cheese is delicious.
You know what? If you answer this wrong, dude, I'm done.
I don't like eggs, so I'm never gonna eat deviled eggs. They're disgusting, nasty, and terrible.
Deviled eggs are wonderful, but I can't say it. How can you know what, Marlon? I owe you an apology because the way I give you a hard time for mayonnaise, when my sister right here is talking about some hog head cheese being better than the deviled eggs, I'm just
better. Better. Eggs are disgusting. I'm glad they $80,000 for 6 of them. I hope don't nobody never buy no eggs again. I don't care if people never buy them. They're disgusting. They're nasty. And the only thing they're good for is when you're baking a cake or baking brownies or baking cookies. That's it.
Anna is the what's that thing where they tell you to stop talking so they play the music? You come off the stage.
I'm with her because I am morally offended at this moment.
You are morally offended.
I would like an apology, but I know I won't get one.
You sure not get one.
Got that right.
Not out of me, you not.
If I have ever offended you or your taste buds, I am truly sorry, my brother.
No, you are wonderful, Anna. You are wonderful. Now, these two people that we hang out with, they got some peculiar ways, and I don't understand. I don't understand how you go and take. I'm like
Nikki.
They take the pig
I'm not gonna pick on
and they scrape the meat off its head. That's why it's called hog head cheese.
I know exactly why it's called hog head cheese. And it's still good. It's still good.
This ain't the meat you want.
It's still good.
You eating 4 head sandwiches.
And it's the best head sandwich that it is. Nope, and I'm glad they $1,000 for 2 of them. Ha ha ha. Now, I want to see y'all go bomb.
You know, I forget what country, but they supplied 6 chickens to everybody who wanted them, helped them set up with it. Found that not only did it help general hunger, general nutrition, but it also reduced garbage. Their landfills.
Yes. Because chickens eat everything.
And then we eat them.
The things we love the most are scavengers. We love chicken.
Mm-hmm.
We love turkey. We love pork. We love catfish. These are all helper animals. Yes, but you eat hog head cheese, so we can't listen to you no more. But these things serve a purpose, and that's wonderful, and that's good. But I'll tell you this, if you give me a chicken, I'm probably going to get really hungry before I figure out what to do with this thing. It'll become a pet before it'll become food. I'm not that guy. Or you go down
to the barber and you have a feast that night.
Go to who?
A barber.
Who do I go to?
A farmer.
Who? A barber?
A farmer.
Oh, a farmer? I'm in Metro Atlanta.
Like
I don't know. I'm gonna find a farmer.
You can't go into like a.
You go to a butcher and have them.
Yeah, butcher.
Sorry, that's the word I was looking for.
No. I'm just saying that I wouldn't know how to get eggs from a chicken.
You grab up in
have
it,
to do nothing. You
and
wait,
or they lay
and
them, and then they walk away, and that's when you grab the egg.
But then it's gonna be hot.
No, look.
It
When
is
you go and
no
find them,
eggs right out from underneath a chicken butt. When I was a kid, I used to spend time on my granddaddy farm, and he would send me out there to go get them eggs. And I got attacked by a chicken.
You had
and
to go really quick.
I swore I am not going to get no eggs no more. And then the eggs are warm because they're coming out of a chicken's butt. And then you sitting here about to eat. It's not okay. I don't like wild food. Okay,
Chickens are not wild.
I don't like wild food. No, I don't want fruit from a fruit stand. I don't want chickens from the yard. I need my food thoroughly domesticatedly killed in the grocery store. I need some saran wrap.
In the grocery store? You
meat.
want them to kill the cows right there in the grocery store.
I don't care where they do it. I'm saying I'm not eating wild food. I needed to already have
never tasted buffalo stew when it was all made outside, and I'm kind of sorry for you.
I haven't. I'm telling you, if the world came to and we had to scavenge for food,
you would kill them
I'm
chickens.
not going to turn into a farmer.
Yes,
I'm going to be robbing folks. I'm going to wait till you cook it.
You would turn into a farmer. You would have to. You would have no choice because your babies would be hungry, and you'd be like, "Nah, I can't watch my babies be hungry."
No, my babies ain't gonna be hungry because it's whoever. If somebody on that block eating, we eating. Now they might not be eating, but I'm eating because I'm gonna take what you got. That's what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna steal. That's your life
stealing.
Plan.
That's the way to go. Yeah, that whole "thou shalt not steal." That don't even matter to Theus. He don't care.
No, not at that point. It don't. So no, because you got to remember, I truly believe I will.
That they can share. You could ask.
I will inherit hell if it delivers heaven to my children. So, yes, I will become one. I'll be your worst nightmare. I promise. Now, what we can do,
I would never.
Is we could probably barter, where it's like, hey, I would help serve as like protection and defense, and y'all just make sure we got food. Right?
But you would turn into a farmer if you had to.
Deal.
If I
That's
had
wonderful because you would deal with things that I would really not want to deal with. I don't want to touch a gun in my life.
Yep, I sure.
See, we can work. We work together. We work together. But now, unfortunately, here's what happens with humanity, though, right? So, so you get people like me, and we come along, we're like, all right, we good people, and we come, we're like, all right, we're gonna help with the protection.
I'll be right back.
We'll help fix. Where you going? We need you. But we'll fix things and we'll do stuff like that. And we hear and we do that stuff. And then y'all make sure, you're growing stuff and all. But then what happens is people start getting selfish. And they be like, you know what? We're the ones doing all the farming. We're the ones doing all the chicken raising. Ain't nobody came up in here and robbed us. We don't need you. We not going to feed you. Oh, really? Okay. Well, you got option A and option B. Option A. I'm going to leave and let them come rob you. Option B, I'm going to rob you. Either way, I'm eating.
Theus is out here advocating for thievery, and I'm just shocked.
It's not thievery if the entire civilization has collapsed.
Sure.
We got to write whole new rules.
Yeah.
You could just become a farmer and make it a lot easier.
But no, we
rob me. And if I don't know how to farm, I can't just become a farmer.
You learn. You know how to grow a garden. You have a garden. You have a house, don't you? I mean, you don't have a little garden.
You know how long it takes to begin to farm?
No, I mean just like a little garden where you grow little veg, not a whole.
Throw some seeds in the ground.
Yeah, you throw some seeds in the ground.
No, I tried that. I tried to grow some mint. Just some mint.
You can grow that indoors.
Some weird little bugs showed up and ate all my mint up.
You can grow mint inside.
That's why.
You didn't prepare for the animals that came.
He's salty for, You have to
There's these little mites that like to eat mint. So you can't see them. They find their way to it and they just eat it up because it was hanging up in the air. But they got in there, ate them up. So
Yeah, you
I
got
can either starve trying to learn how to grow a potato, or I can figure out who don't seem to be getting skinny too fast right now.
yeah, and all that
Hey, partner,
effort.
let's talk.
I totally think that's a good deal. You do protection, I'll do food. Yes.
That's how you build societies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but it is a problem. Somebody be like, I didn't get robbed, so why am I paying you to do what again?
Eventually, that will happen. That's unfortunately what does occur. And that's when you end up with organized crime. So what we better is to people to understand that we're all sharing in this load. And so even though someone doesn't contribute in the same way that you perceive it to be on your level, are they contributing? So you can say, well, these people aren't even doing any kind of protection because we haven't been robbed. Well, the thing is, it's kind of like the vaccine situation. I didn't get COVID, so I don't think the vaccine was useful. You didn't get COVID because it wasn't running rampant the way it was because weaker strains were being developed because we were all vaccinated. The vaccine did what it was supposed to do. That's why less people are dying. But unfortunately, people go backwards and they say, ain't nobody dying. COVID was a joke. I'm sorry, what she say? I can't read that.
No, not me. That is easy to grow. Just here to look pretty.
You are
want to do
beautiful, my brother.
protection too?
He's just here to look pretty.
You're petty.
Yeah, potatoes are like the easiest thing to grow. You grow more than you have to, because this is what I plan on doing when I get my house. I'm definitely going to grow a garden. And everybody tells me, you got to grow way more than you think you need because the animals are going to get it. The bugs are going to get it. So you got to grow more than what you think you need. So, yeah, they are easy.
You grown a potato
She's a
before?
gardener. So yes, listen to her on that.
I haven't grown anything because I've lived in an apartment all my life.
You sound like Green Acres. If you ever watched the first episode of Green Acres, he wanted to be a farmer, so he ended up in Beverly Hills with a bunch of potted vegetable plants on his porch because he wanted to be a farmer. And that was now they moved to Hooterville, but they started out in the city. See, so before they went to Hooterville, his wife Ava Gabor, she was the one that was saying, well, start with potted plants. So he had like little vegetables and stuff in pots. But anyway, hold on. My whole point is, if you're going to turn your yard into a garden, make sure you check with your local zoning ordinances so that you don't get in trouble for growing food where you're only allowed to grow grass.
There is no place in this country where you can't grow potatoes. Now, I'm not trying to grow corn stalk.
Yes, there are.
I don't know any place in the city of Indianapolis, the city I live in, where you can't
Have you looked? Have you looked? Because here's the thing.
Hey, City, can I grow some green beans? Yeah.
Here's the backwards way that this works. See, when you grow agriculture brings pests. So if you're within the city limits or whatever the ordinance is local to you, some of them do have rules. They say you can't do this because it generates pests. They don't want the rats and the rabbits and the da 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 da. They don't want that. So they're saying you can't grow it. So yes, you might be able to grow a couple tomato plants because they ain't getting nobody's way. Start growing some darn potatoes that's growing all through okay.
Because you got to dig in the ground. I can see you talking about corn that grows like 6 feet tall. Okay, that makes sense.
It ain't about how if they can see it. It's about what it brings.
How are they gonna know the potatoes?
It ain't about
are
you
there?
as an individual.
Potatoes grow in the ground. They not gonna
they
know
do, but you got to pull them out. So when
so
people are driving down, when they driving down the road, ain't nobody gonna watch you closer than your neighbor. So You're going to see somebody be like, wait a minute, she's got like rose in her yard. What is she growing?
None of your
Marlon,
business.
have you ever had a garden?
Hello, building code authorities. I think she's growing marijuana plants. And then they show up and you growing carrots. And the carrots are against the law.
You can grow potatoes in the greater Indianapolis area. You can grow You can't grow corn. I'm pretty sure you can't grow corn because it grows like 6 feet tall. But you can grow.
I'm just trying to look out for you. I'm trying to look out for you, Tracy. Now you could probably grow almost anything you want to in a raised bed, but I'm just saying, check to protect yourself.
Oh, she said corn is 3 feet tall. I thought it was 6 feet tall.
Dwarf corn can be.
Oh, dwarf corn. Because I'm like, regular corn is like 6 feet. It's not like I'm sitting here
but
like
what
racing.
about white corn? How tall does white corn grow?
Same. They just get it earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, what about that corn that's like black and white? Like the
the native corn?
Corn, yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay, that corn.
I don't know.
But
I might have an answer for that.
Right now, I'm just driving my own crazy.
You can grow most vegetables in big
Marlon
pots.
hasn't said anything in minutes, and it's scaring me.
Why do I have a piano, but I
Leaving
don't?
comments. I don't know.
That's your fault. Take lessons. Didn't it feel good to have all 4 of us back though?
No.
We waiting on you.
Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
AureliaEtc.com. It'll lead you to all the places.
TracyMediaLLC.com.
ComplexSimpleMan.com. Once I can figure out how to make my phone do the stuff that I used to do on my computer, I can get back to doing some stuff. But I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know. But yeah, you can go there to see my old stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, our show for tonight. I truly appreciate Anna Hart, Tracy Carson, and the returning Thea Robinson to the show. And until next time, we will see you. We will see you.
Grow corn. Potatoes are illegal potted plants. They're pot plants.